We are live. Welcome to the West Coast Draft Podcast. We are now to week 12 of the college football
Jeez,
regular season.
sweet.
It's flying by. It is absolutely scorching. Um, we're almost to the end. There's only two more regular season weeks left. There are only two more weeks where every college football team will be playing,
Not
which is
true.
wild to me
USC's
too.
on bye in a week.
Oh, true. Okay, sorry.
Ah,
Yeah, there's only
gotcha.
two. We are 2 weeks away from a lot of teams' seasons being over. Is one a better way of saying that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and we're right back to the off season. We're right back to sadness. Just kidding. We got bowl season, so we'll be chilling during bowl season, and obviously NFL still be around. But what are we going to talk about on the Tuesday episodes when college
Oh
football is
man.
wrapped up?
XFL baby. Preview.
No. Maybe when it
Well,
goes to
you know
draft
what we can
episodes.
talk about on Tuesday episodes when the college football season's over? You know what we can talk about? The draft.
We can talk about the draft. That's right, baby. Finally living up to the namesake of the pod. But um
We got a
welcome
fun
in.
one for you. We got
We got a
so much
very
news has been happening this week.
it's
Games, news, projections, all the fun stuff. And guess
hirings,
what, folks?
firings.
Guess what, folks? It is officially flight tracker season in college football.
We're right there. We're right there, man. Who's flying into College Station is the question.
I think like half, at least two-thirds of them are fake.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well, the
probably.
ones for the ones that UW and Oregon fans are sending each other, I think those ones are fake. But there was a fun one. Have you seen so now that Zach Arnett has been fired from Mississippi
Hmm.
State, did you see an interesting post from a different coach?
What's
You
that?
hear about this? Oh, okay. A certain coach forgot to turn off location services on his tweet, and it was in Starkville, Mississippi, the day it was either the day or the day after Arnett got fired. Take a guess
Hmm.
who that coach was. Take a guess. It was a tweet like, "Oh yeah, I'll be on tonight for like his like school's like radio segment or whatever."
I think but what conference? What conference?
Oh, that would be a dead giveaway, but it's a coach I've always kind of liked.
Biff Poggi.
No, I wish.
Um Man, trying to think. Coach you've always
Southern,
liked.
Southern.
Southern. Okay. It wouldn't be Lane.
Let me give another hint. Uh, it is a team that is in contention for a New Year's Six Bowl. I'm being too vague.
No, no, I mean that's actually not a bad one. Is it Southern? That to me, I mean that basically narrows it down. It's either Mizzou's guy or Louisville's guy. It's not?
Neither. No.
Really? I have no idea then.
Jamie
I'm lost.
Chadwell had a tweet.
Jamie Chat. Oh man. I didn't think that hard, actually.
I
Okay,
was
never mind.
I think I set you up for failure with I should have said group of five, probably.
Okay, yeah, in that case I would. Okay, Jamie Chadwell.
Has a
That's
tweet with
interesting.
his
That's
location services.
interesting.
I like that for Mississippi State. I think that
That's
would be a
yeah.
good hire. I like that. Um, but it was like, ooh, yikes. And then one of my favorite things that happened this week was, did you see what happened at a Texas A&M TV timeout?
What did happen in Texas A&M
A
TV
uh
timeout?
a giant check from the 12th man club was presented to the football team. I think it was $160 million the night, and Jimbo got fired after that game. So like they literally showed the check that got Jimbo fired during the game during a
That's
TV
incredible.
timeout.
That's
Um,
incredible.
so that one was pretty funny, but it's like, man, and they literally said they were able to do that because oil prices have gone up. They literally said that.
Well,
And then
there
what's
you go.
another funny one? I think there was one
Shout out
more.
oil prices for saving Texas A&M football.
Oil prices going up is Like, little domino, oil prices go up, big domino, Tosh Lupoi, Oregon head coach.
That would be so incredible. Oh man, that's a thanks Joe Biden moment right there.
Yeah. Oh, okay, here it is. Like a bat has a small genetic mutation or whatever. Um, okay, someone eats a bat in China. Little domino, big domino, Tosh Lupoi, Oregon head coach. That's a good one.
That's a good one. That's a good one,
There's
honestly.
been some, but there's been some. Oh, there's been so much drama about UW and Oregon's coach. So like, DeBoer had a presser the other day, and the tweets that came out of it makes what he said sound so much worse. Um,
Hmm.
because like he never like outright denied it. What he said is like, yeah, Troy's doing everything he can to keep continuity in this program. But the way he said it, it was totally different than how it looks on text. I have zero worry about that. But then Dan Lanning says, I will ne like he basically said like I'm never gonna leave. That's just a complete lie. Because if an SEC blue blood comes up, he's gone.
Yeah, if Alabama or Georgia offers you a job, you're taking that job.
I think he'd go for Auburn or Florida.
Yeah.
Um, the thing about that though, I don't think he's gonna do Texas A&M. Even though I think they want him. And it's because he has a $20 million buyout at Oregon. They already paid a huge buyout to Jimbo. They're going to have to pay him a contract and a buyout. I just don't see it happening. But if you get an SEC blue blood that comes open, I could definitely see Lanning going. I don't think it's happening this year, but
No,
uh,
not this year.
but he is 100% lying though. That's the thing.
Yeah. Well, he's got to say that, right? I mean,
I mean,
they're
DeBoer didn't,
that's
but
the thing.
like
DeBoer
the
didn't,
funny
I
thing,
guess.
the funny thing was, people were posting clips of both Taggart and Cristobal saying nearly the exact same thing. Um, DeBoer strikes me as a guy who just doesn't really like to talk about himself too much, so I think that's why his answers were kind of weird.
Hmm.
For I've been told there is a lot of money. He's about to get paid a lot. Above 7 million. Grubb might stay for 3 million is what I've been told. Because a group of five head coaching gig pays less than what he has now. I don't know if Grubb stays, but I think we might have a good offer for him. And then
Hmm.
I think there is possibility for some shakeups on defense. One for sure, I've been told.
There better
Um,
be some. Want to just lead
but
with that? Want to lead with the UW talk?
yeah, let's go for it. I want to hear what you have
Yeah.
to say. You had some choice words when you're
Oh
texting me at the
Lord.
game. I want to hear
So
it.
I will. Okay, and I will lead with this. In the second half, the defense was definitely better. Credit adjustments.
Hmm.
However, I still don't know if it was because the defense was good or Utah just couldn't get out of its own way offensively.
A little
Because
bit of
let's be
both.
frank, Utah is one of the worst offenses in the Pac 12. They
Hmm.
should never be putting up 311 yards in the first half on
Yeah,
you.
that was
And then
bad.
in the second half, they get the ball.
We got the
They have
ball
a wide
first.
open lane and they slip and fall. Their quarterback takes a roughing the passer. Next pass throws the interception. And never really looks the same after
Mm-mm.
that hit either. I think it has maybe a little bit more to do with Utah than Washington's defense actually stepping up. Now, credit where credit's due. Again, you can only play the team that's in front of you. They only allowed 28 yards and 0 points, which is good, which is
Hmm.
excellent. Great job. But man, I got major question marks about this defense, man. And
Hmm.
even the offense, there were times where they should have absolutely shut the door on Utah in the second half. First
Hmm.
half offense was fantastic. Don't get me wrong. It was like it flipped the script. In the first half, the offense was great. Defense was putrid. Second half, offense wasn't putrid by any means. It was moving the ball up and down the field, but
Hmm.
we weren't finishing drives. And the defense finally decided to show up 2 hours late to the game. So
Hmm.
man, this defense just gives me so many concerns, man. The way recruiting's going, I don't know when it's going to get better.
Hmm.
Um, but as long as DeBoer's around, I will have faith in the offense at least.
Hmm.
And I still got faith that they can do the thing. They can get to the playoff. Now, they play Georgia or they play
No way. They're
Michigan.
not. I'm totally realistic. I've been really high on our boys all year, higher than you have. They're not winning the CFP, I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
We're
no,
not
you're not.
winning. We're not winning. If we
Just
make it, that's
going,
amazing.
winning the Pac-12, winning the final Pac-12 and going to the CFP would be
I
a
am
major
so
accomplishment.
happy with that. Yes,
Mm-hmm,
I mean, a Pac-12 team hasn't been to the CFP since us,
mm-hmm.
and to
Yeah.
do it in a year when the Pac-12 is actually up, it's pretty impressive. But we need to be totally realistic. We're not beating Georgia, Ohio State, or Michigan. I think we'd beat
Mm-hmm.
Florida State.
Yeah.
Um, but those three were not. We're just, they're just gonna run the, I think
They're a tier
they will be
of
the
college football
first
above.
three teams that would prove that you can play possession football to beat this team, the DeBoer Huskies.
Mm-hmm.
Teams have tried to play possession ball, but it hasn't worked. I think we've talked about this. The only
Well,
thing
it's
that's been
worked with
shown,
making the games closer. It worked for Arizona, worked for Oregon. Again, all that we beat all those teams. Worked for ASU.
I mean, no, I don't think Oregon or Arizona played possession ball.
Oh, Arizona definitely did. Are you kidding
No,
me?
they didn't. No,
Oh,
they
they
didn't.
did.
No, they threw plenty. Um, what I mean is like just almost dominated by the run, chewing clock.
Oh, I mean, I'm just talking ball control, time of possession. That's what I'm talking about.
No, no. I mean, I think the way to prove to beat us is to score with us. You have to score with us if you want to beat us. You can't play grinded out football, is what I'm saying. That hasn't been shown to work against us. I think Michigan, Ohio State, and Georgia would show that works against us because just the line play on both sides would just be a step above. Um, you know, I'll add a little perspective to what you said from, being at the stadium. Holy shit, it was windy. It was windy. So it definitely hurt the passing game. The reason
Hmm.
Mike was off on a couple of throws was because of the
Yeah.
wind.
Oh, yeah. There's the one, especially in the first half, where he had Colt wide
Hmm.
open.
Yep, in the end zone. Yep, that
Yeah.
one was bad. Uh what
But it
the
looked
the
windy. It
throws
looked
that
windy.
Barnes threw absolutely sailed on him, and we still, couldn't make good plays on the ball, which was a little frustrating because oh my gosh, some of those were ducks.
Hmm.
Um
Yeah.
The
Barnes is not a
kicking
good
game
quarterback.
was ridiculous. It was so funny. The punts were hilarious. Especially at halftime when they were, I would say it was windier in the second half. Um, that's why the offensives struggled on both sides.
Hmm.
Uh, the punting game during halftime, the one or two times either the teams tried, an actual hang time punt, it just completely was flat on the way down. Those are hilarious. It goes real high up, just dies. Oh, so funny. Um, Sione Vaki's really good. I watched that screen pass that he took for a touchdown like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. It was so well drawn up. They really drew up a nice play. Sione Vaki is really explosive. I really couldn't find whose fault that was. It might have been Rayland for not crashing earlier, but it looked like he went out for a swing pass. I would say
Well, you know,
maybe on
if
the
you can't find a,
safeties,
if you can't attribute blame to a player, you know who you do have to attribute blame to then.
the coaches. I agree.
Scheming.
We were out schemed on that play for sure. They definitely saw something and had us ready. It was blocked. It was executed perfectly. Um, and the angles by the safeties weren't great. I will say that on that play.
Hmm.
But also it's because Sione Vaki's really fast, really, really fast. But that was just a limited Utah offense. I can't believe Jaquin Jackson was able to play. Um, Credit halftime adjustments. It was rough in the first half. The Utah corners are so big. They're
Hmm.
really, really big in person, and they were holding a lot on
Oh
our
yeah, they were
receivers,
especially on
and they didn't
Rome.
get
Oh
many
man,
calls. They were just holding all
yeah.
over him. And they're at probably midway through the second quarter, and then the rest of the first half, they stopped playing for the calls, and that's when there were some better touchdowns because they stopped. They just were fighting back against it. Um, what else? Oh yeah, one last thing to talk about. Um, Braylon had his best game. He looked really
Hmm.
good against a pretty good tackle, Spencer Fano. He ate his lunch like 3 plays in a row, got held all 3 game ones, and only got called once. The O line did really well against a good D line.
Hmm.
Uh, Jonah Ellis, no, one pressure, no sacks, no hits. That's pretty impressive
Yeah.
because Jonah Ellis had 2 sacks against the Utah or Oregon State left tackle.
Yeah.
And then that is the a fun stat. You might have seen me tweet it. That is the 3rd year in a row where there's been a safety in the West end zone. Um, the dog pack makes a difference back there, man. I really think it does. Thule had it made a great play there.
He did. He did. Right before that was.
Oh my God.
Do we even have to talk about it? I feel like
See,
everyone's already talked about it.
because we won, no one will remember other than clips.
Yes.
Um,
Yes. It'll end up as like a Shacked in a Fool moment. It will not end up as a all-time great Husky blunder because
yeah,
we won.
yeah.
But if we
And we got
lost,
that
oh man.
safety too.
Yeah, and we
Well,
got the
it was
safety.
like that Utah Oregon 14-point swing many years ago. Um, that was bad. Something I heard read up about later was that Marcus Freeman has a rule where if you score a touchdown before you celebrate, you have to give the ball to the refs. I think that's pretty smart right there.
Yeah, it
Make
works.
make giving the ball to the ref fun, and then have a big
Yeah.
celebration doing it or after. That's tough, man. And he dropped it pretty early. It
He
wasn't
dropped
even
it on like
close.
it looked like he was starting to let go of it on like the 4. It was like it wasn't even close, dude. What are you thinking?
That was pretty bad. I think you got to give credit. Utah's always going to be a tough team. It's always going to be a tough team. And for the past how like 5 years, they've been in November and they've been the cockroach you can't kill. They always get people near the end. And we were finally the ones to stomp on it and kill it for good. It's over. They're eliminated from the Pac-12 title chances. No three-peat. Team of Destiny vibes.
Nope. Exactly. Exactly. Well, the actual team of Destiny is the team down in Tucson, Arizona, but we'll talk about them.
Yeah. Let's get into the normal stuff. Yeah.
Let's get into the rankings
Or shit,
here.
let's talk. Yeah, let's talk rankings first. Good idea. Good point.
I mean, obviously the big change is 1 and 2 flipping there. Georgia, Ohio State, honestly, and
Deserved.
I know with all the controversy and everything, and I might be alone on this. I still think Michigan's the best team in the country. I think they're most well-rounded. I think of these 3 teams at the top, they have the best passing attack. I think they've got the best offense, period, and they still have a damn good defense, which
Hmm.
Georgia and Ohio State both do as well. Obviously, it's going to come down to in Ann Arbor, Ohio State, Michigan for who actually makes it in. And there's always the factor that Michigan always chokes when they do make the playoffs. So will it end up being them as national
If
champions? I
mhm.
don't think so
I don't
necessarily
think so.
because of past precedent. But if you just told me like of the every team on this list, who do I think is the best? Like who would I pick right now just to
Hmm.
win on a Saturday? I'd probably pick Michigan.
That's tough. I would agree with you there. It's just the resume factor for me.
Mhm.
I just think Michigan's just played nobody, and Penn State. They got a really good defense, but man, that offense
Their offense is
sucks.
horrible. Their offense is horrible. They fired
Um,
their OC, so there's
yeah,
another
yeah.
another
Yurcich getting
coaching
fired
firing.
was not one I would have expected preseason.
Yeah, you
Really
can't
tells
have
me
the
that
number one
the
recruit in
the
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 country at
gun
quarterback and just do
the
nothing with him.
gun is probably pointed at Franklin next. Is what
Mm.
Yurcich getting fired tells me. Um, I think it's absurd that Florida State's above UW. Uh, I think that's pretty bad, especially after Utah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but hey, if you win, you get it.
You
That's all
win,
that
you win.
matters.
You win, you're in. Yeah.
Us versus us. That was a really good idea for something to think about preseason. Good choice.
Yeah.
Um,
The nice thing is if UW beats Oregon State and beats Wazoo, they are going to be in the rankings for at least 1 week. The
oh
week
yeah.
before the playoff, the Pac-12 championship.
I think we if we win out, we will be above Florida. I think we will be number 3. It's gonna be probably number 1's gonna be either if
I think who number one, if Georgia finishes undefeated, they'll
They're
stay
number
number
one.
one. Yeah.
But if
If they
Georgia loses, I think Michigan or
they
Ohio
drop
State will
out,
be.
Alabama replaces them, assuming Bama wins. Or Texas
Mhm.
replaces them. Um,
That's where things really get interesting is the head to head with Alabama
mhm.
Texas. That really throws a knife into it. Because personally, I think if Alabama beats Georgia, I think they deserve to be in.
I
Um,
think so too.
but they lost to Texas. So,
Yeah.
and I think a head to head should trump because
Yeah.
if if uh if number eight, let's say these rankings were today, if number eight, one lost number eight, that wasn't Bama, beat Georgia with a loss to Texas. Let's say it was, I don't know, Ole Miss. I don't think
Ole
they'd get
Miss. Yeah,
in.
I'd say it's Ole Miss. Yeah. Probably
Um,
not, honestly.
that's such a tough one. Um, I think if Texas, they have not looked. I think they'll drop one. They haven't looked sharp lately.
Who
So
does
I think
Texas have left to play? Let's figure this out here. Texas, number 7. Oh wow, TC they almost blew it to TCU. That was a
yeah,
blowout for a long
yeah,
time. I didn't even keep track of it. Okay, I didn't realize
yeah. They
they
had a bad
TCU
second
almost came
half.
back.
Oh,
Yeah, shoot,
they're
man.
winning out, huh?
Yeah,
I don't
never
know if
mind. Yeah, that.
Oklahoma. There's some weird tiebreakers going on because there's a lot of 5-2 teams in the Big 12.
Yeah, we'll see. Who do
So
they?
that's
Yeah,
gonna be a
who would they
really
play?
interesting scenario. I think a head to head should trump it, even if you win.
Hmm.
If a you know I think back to Utah USC last year. Utah didn't get in after beating a CFP team. I know Georgia's won a million in a row, but um, I think that head to head loss is got to trump it because then what do these games mean, right?
Hmm.
What does the regular season mean if you lose one?
Hmm.
Uh, so there's some interesting scenarios at play, really interesting scenarios.
Yeah. The nice thing is because of how many interesting scenarios we're probably almost assuredly not going to end up in a situation like last year where both Ohio State and Michigan do make it.
No, no,
Whoever wins
absolutely
that
not.
game, as long as they do go on to win the Big Ten championship, which have you seen the SEC or the Big Ten West? They will.
Yeah,
Whoever wins that game is going to be in. Whoever wins the SEC championship, which will, I think, if it hasn't already been officially clinched, it will be soon. Georgia versus Bama.
no, it's clinched. It's clinched.
Is it clinched? Okay,
Hmm.
so I think, but then you do throw in the scenario. Do you put if Texas wins the Big 12 and has the one loss? Do you put them ahead of Bama? You might have to.
You should.
I think whoever wins UW Oregon should be in.
Undefeated Florida State's in. I don't know if they beat Louisville in a big in a ACC. I hope they don't. They don't deserve to be in. To be honest, they
So
don't
one of
deserve it.
these two up here at the top is going to be out.
Hmm.
So then the question is going to be, it's going to be probably Ohio State slash Michigan. So that's one. Ohio State slash Michigan is one of them. Florida State, if they win out, is the other one. Then it's kind of interesting because then it's either Washington or Oregon for the third. And this isn't in order. This is just the four
Hmm.
spots in no general order. And then it's either Georgia, Texas, or Bama all competing for that fourth one. And that's so interesting. Congrats to
I can't
Florida
wait.
State, I guess, for being only being just truly just in control. I mean, all
Hmm.
you gotta do is win out against a bunch of ACC
They
teams.
play North Alabama this week.
Yeah, they're fine.
Some other interesting things though
Okay, wait,
was
hold on. Okay, I do. Okay, one. What if Florida State does lose a game though, and they
out
just drop out? No, no,
out. Yep.
I agree with you 100%. Do you put Texas and the SEC winner in at that point? You got to at that point,
Let's
right?
see here. So you got one of UW Oregon,
Mm-hmm.
Georgia, Bama, Texas. So okay, Ohio State, Michigan winner. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yep. You put the
Texas
SEC
and
winner in
SEC winner.
Texas. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Man, I'd love to get Texas in the CFP, but
that'd be
damn, that's a
interesting.
bowl rematch. Ugh,
Yeah.
I'm not convinced they're
Alabama's playing much
amazing.
better football than they were early in the season, though.
Oh yeah, Oh, they're playing
That
so
game would
much
go
better.
differently. That game would go different. I don't know if Texas still might win again, but it would definitely go differently than it did the first time.
Oh, absolutely. Jalen Milroe's playing well right now.
Yeah. Dude, there are
Um,
people talking about him in the Heisman race. Now he
no,
too little, too late, but there are people having that conversation, which is crazy to think when he got benched in week 3.
that was a poor choice to bench him, though. Buckner was
Mhm.
horrible.
He was horrible. Um, and as he's
Um,
proven now, he just needed a little more time.
mhm. I think some other things though. Mizzou should not be 9. They do have. I know they gave Georgia a run, but I think they have. I think Louisville and Mizzou should swap. I think Mizzou has either 2 or 3 losses.
I think too,
Um,
because I know they got LSU and Georgia, which as far as losses go, those are really
those are
good.
good
Louisville's
losses.
was to Pitt. So do you take 2 great losses or one horrible loss?
I still think the one loss should be ahead of a 2-loss team.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Anything else interesting? Oh yeah, I was back.
You have
Oklahoma
eight, number
State should not
17.
be ranked right now.
No, they should
Oklahoma
not.
State should not be there.
Not after last week.
UNC's back, baby, at
Yeah,
20.
they just won't die. Who did Oklahoma State lose to again? We got it right here. Hold
UCF
on.
at the bounce house,
Oh, that and
45
it
to 3.
45 to 3.
That was
Man, we should have
bad.
called that as the big stupid upset, man. In hindsight, that would have been a
Yep.
great big stupid upset candidate. Um,
Let's get
Arizona
into
keeps on
this week's
climbing.
games.
Hold on, I
Yes.
just want to see
Remember,
Arizona.
remember how much we got clowned on for that game when we were in control too.
Yeah, man, it's looking good in hindsight. Man,
That's gonna be
Arizona,
good.
man, they get, oh boy,
They're gonna win out. If it wasn't for their
that
USC
game's
loss,
at
they'd
Tucson.
probably they'd be I think they'd probably be
If they started
uh
Fafita against Mississippi State, they win that game,
hmm absolute and
and
oh yeah, absolutely.
they easily could have beat SC. They're
If
only like
Cowing
this.
if Cowing didn't go down in USC, they win. They were running shit. But what you're saying, deserving loss, UW?
UW's their only deserved loss. Yeah, Tucson's a tough place to play, man. I don't know. Utah might be
Bear down.
looking at 4
Utah's
losses
going
soon.
down. They're going down
Yeah.
this week.
So there you go. But yeah, let's get into the games here. Talk. Miami, Ohio, boat racing Akron. But there's none of these. I guess Thursday night, Louisville squeaking by
Oh yeah.
Virginia.
They had a really good 5 minutes in the fourth quarter where they had 2 super long touchdowns in a row. Virginia choked. They got
Yeah, and I think
lucky.
I think the committee also has to be looking at that when they're putting
That's
losers
fair.
ahead of
That's
them.
fair. But hey, if you're gonna do that, do it for Florida State too. They
True. They also
oh my God.
that is true. Honestly, also credit to the Virginia Cavaliers. Not a very
They've been playing
talent-rich
hard.
team that's been, and they've been.
Who's their head coach? Tony Elliott.
I think so. I think it's Tony Elliott still. Yeah. Not a
I
very
watched.
talent-rich team. They've been through a lot, but man, they're
Mm,
playing hard, man. They gave
they play
Louisville a
hard.
run for their money. They beat North Carolina. Um, they've been competing in a lot of these games. They may only be 2-8, but they've been competing. Got Miami. I went to Miami, almost beat them. Georgia Tech, that didn't really live up to that one. But yeah, I mean, look at that. I mean, it's not a lot of blowouts. I mean, sure, Tennessee blowout, Maryland blowout, Georgia Tech blowout. 3 blowouts on their schedule. Considering how they've been as a program, what they're coming back from, I mean, yeah, you wish the record was better. It's a competitive
They've been
football
playing
team.
hard. They've been
They've been
playing
playing
hard.
really hard. That's the
The,
time to
their
look at
loss to
teams.
JMU looks a lot better.
Oh, for sure, for sure. That's not even something to be ashamed of at this point.
Yeah.
JMU is a top G5 program. Um, moving on
I
here.
watched both Friday night games.
SMU boat racing North Texas here. Although that game was closer in the
It
first
was
half, and
closer
then
than.
SMU pulled
Mhm.
ahead.
This was a
Um,
fun game. UNLV
the
was
go-go
controlling that
offense.
game the whole time. Yeah,
Yeah, that was a
baby.
shocker.
And guess who
are they
lost
in
this
the driver's
weekend?
seat to go
Guess
to the
who
Mountain
lost this
West?
weekend? I think there's weird tiebreakers going on.
Fresno? Did Fresno lose?
Fresno lost.
So UNLV and not only going to be in the driver's seat, are they first? No, Air Force is still first by tiebreakers, I think. No, they play Air Force this weekend, actually.
Be big. It's gonna be a
There you go.
big
It's a big
matchup,
one.
man. I want to watch that. 1:30
There you go.
before the Huskies game. Perfect.
Perfect. And let's see, in UNL, no, they lost to Fresno State. So they lost to Fresno State. So they would not have that tiebreaker. Right now in the three-way tiebreaker, actually, Air
No, no, no,
Force,
no. Well, they're up a game though. They control their destiny.
but I mean they'll control their destiny to get into the Mountain West Championship either
Oh
way.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I'm just talking to be the best team
Who
in the
they're
Mountain
gonna
West in the
play?
regular season.
Yeah.
Yeah. So right now it's them though. So there you go. There's the go
Mountain
offense.
West
So
rocks, man.
Mountain West rocks. Oregon State and Washington State will love it next year. Um, moving forward here, very predictably, Ohio State beat the worst.
Rolled.
Man, I know they're not actually the worst, but man, sometimes Michigan State feels like the worst Power Five program. Like
They're
I know
far from it.
Vanderbilt's
They're
worse.
so far from it, dog. What are you talking about?
No, no, they are. They're not the worst, but man, sometimes it feels like they are.
There's like
Vanderbilt, I
three
know
or
is
four.
worse.
There's three or four worse in the Big Ten.
Are there? And
Yeah.
Northwestern, yeah.
Indiana, Illinois,
Indiana, yeah.
Northwestern.
Illinois, yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's hard to remember that sometimes.
There's some bad programs there. Rutgers.
No, Rutgers is better than them.
No, 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 no,
Yes.
no, no. As a
I mean this year. I
historically,
mean this year. I mean this year.
uh
Oh yeah, no, historically, no, of course not. Michigan
yeah, they're
State's a
really
proud
bad this year.
program
Oh,
historically.
they're
I'm
horrible
talking
this
this
year. Oh
year.
yeah, they're really bad this year. They're down there. Yep,
Yeah.
they're down there.
Yeah,
Some of the
see.
worst.
See? There you go. That was just a
Indiana is pretty rough this year though.
Indiana's horrible. Yeah, Indiana and
Hey,
them are probably the
toilet bowl
same
this
level.
weekend on the
Toilet bowl, there you
BTN.
go. There you go.
Well,
Toilet bowl in Bloomington.
I think there's some smoke about a coach for Michigan State, and their fans are very happy. It's no name's been said, but it's been theorized that it's Jason Candle, which I don't think that's that bad, but their
Where's he? Is
fans are
he
pissed
coaching
about it.
right now?
Toledo.
I didn't know
He has
that
Toledo.
actually.
He has Toledo a close game against Illinois from being 10-0. 11-0.
Really? I didn't know that
They
actually.
won a thriller tonight, actually. We'll get to it.
Oh, I didn't know that. I knew Toledo was doing good. I didn't know Jason Campbell was their head
No,
coach.
no, no,
That's
no.
fun.
Candle. Candle.
Oh, Candle. I was gonna say Jason Campbell. That's a name I haven't heard in a while. Okay,
Yeah,
that makes
yeah.
more sense.
Okay.
Jason Candle. No, you're good. I just misheard you. No, okay. That makes more sense. I do know Jason Candle. Okay, I was like, dude, I didn't know Jason Campbell was head coach somewhere. Good for him, man. Raiders legend. Here we go. So, I mean, yeah, I don't, man, Michigan State's bad, but they did beat Nebraska. So, but yeah, Ohio State rolled them.
Georgia rolled.
Rolled Ole Miss, like absolutely just and in fact, this
That's
game
why
was
they're
close
number
when it
one.
first started, and then they just absolutely boat raced them. Um, Michigan beat Penn State in a game from 1923. Literally, I think what was like 111 combined passing yards between both teams, something crazy like that. Um, it's crazy, but Michigan pulled out the win without Harbaugh too. So we'll see how that case goes. FSU
That
squeaked by,
that
well, I wouldn't say squeaked by
one thing
Miami because
about
it kind of
the
relied on.
do you see the Sharon Moore end of everyone probably
Oh
saw
yeah,
it,
the
but that
end of
was
it,
so
yeah.
well, and now turns out that Stallions and like Weiss were part of a gambling ring, is what it's looking like. That's what the companies were for. I think Michigan is one. I bet they really regret putting their AD president. Everyone's doing hashtag bet. That's looking bad.
Oh, with the new thing, yeah, that's not great. That's not great.
That's an oopsie right there. But two, they are really dying. You're really dying on a hill that because you cheated and got in trouble. They're definitely going to regret that, especially with investigations. NCAA was at Central this week. Yesterday, actually. It's bad.
There you go. There you go. Well,
But
guess we'll
Sharon Moore
find out.
crying, America's team, blah, blah, ugh. Everyone hates you. You cheated. You're not being persecuted. You cheated. You
Like
broke the rules.
every team cheats, man. Every team steals
Hey,
signs.
you
They
got
just did it
caught.
in person.
You got caught.
That's true. They did get caught. It's
You
okay to
were
cheat as long as
so
you don't get caught.
cartoonishly bad at covering it up that you had no plausible deniability and you got caught.
Yeah.
Idiots
Yeah.
on Twitter caught you. There's no fair investigation. What's been going on for the last month and a half?
You bring up a good point there. You do bring up a good point there. Um, from Penn State angle, I mean, this is you guys every year. You
Mm-hmm.
win, you go 10-2. Your two losses are to Ohio
Mm-hmm.
State and Michigan, and you go to a New Year's Six game. Congratulations. 2023 is the same as 2022, is the same as 2021, is the same as 2020. That's the same as every year in the James Franklin era. So congrats for staying consistent, I suppose. Um, Miami going to
You know,
Florida State.
you finally have that star quarterback. You have what probably should be best quarterback in the Big Ten right now, right? You
Yeah,
know, I guess
probably.
JJ McCarthy's pretty good, but he's in an all-star surrounding cast, and Ohio State has its worst quarterback in like 10 years right now, and you still can't get it done.
Still. And you can't even like make it look close either. Like, I mean, not neither of these games were blowouts on the final score card, but
You could see
both
who's
of
the better
these,
team.
yeah, you could. It was pretty clear.
You probably have probably the second best defense in the conference, you know.
Yeah,
I think Michigan's probably the best, but you should be better than this.
yeah, for sure, for sure. And it's not going to get easier because
Mm-mm.
eventually it's like all
You're
these
number
amazing
four now.
recruit. I mean, they got Kalen King, they got Chop Robinson, like those guys going to the NFL next
Hmm.
year. And yeah,
And
you
guess
could say
what?
like we keep and you can always say make the argument, hey, we're rotating guys in and out. We're always gonna have dudes. And to a certain extent, yeah, that's true. But how long until those defensive players start realizing, hey, I can go to Penn State, I could get drafted high. No, that's great, but I won't win national championship. And
Hmm.
they're winning those in Columbus, or they're coming close, and they're coming close in Ann Arbor. Leave the Big Ten. They're coming close down in Athens and Tuscaloosa. Like, you know, I didn't say Seattle because they can't recruit defensive players right now.
And they're probably gonna be not. They're not gonna be number three after this year. They're number four,
Mhm,
maybe number five in recruiting too. I'm number three is gonna be USC.
mhm.
I wouldn't put Oregon above them in like brand and like just everything, history, all that stuff. But recruiting, probably they're probably above Penn State too. And you don't have, something that's been working for them for the last 5, 6, 7 years now, probably. And you can probably attest to that. We're in the Big Ten. This is where college football playoff teams come from. That was a pretty good recruiting tactic to get good dudes from the West Coast. That's gone.
Yep, yep. They can stay close to home now.
Yeah.
So there you go. Moving on here. I already talked Utah, Washington.
Did
Oh
we
wait, sorry.
talk?
We didn't talk
Florida,
Miami, Florida
Miami.
State.
Didn't catch
Um,
this one. Didn't catch it.
Florida State squeaked by. Actually, it was funny. It was kind of a late Miami comeback. Florida State was in control for a bit, but Miami came back, made it close, couldn't seal the deal to finish it. But Florida State, I mean,
What the fuck are
it
we doing? What the fuck are we doing?
it's hard to take much away from this because Miami is still a talented football team. Like I would expect this game to be about this score, so I'm not taking knocking Florida State for this, but they yeah, they're
If we
squeaking
got,
by.
if we got knocked for our standard in ASU games, equal treatment, please.
Yeah. Yeah, this game's 10-10 and a half, 20. I think it was 27-13 at one point, but FSU squeaked by there. But yeah, and then move already talked Utah, Washington. SC going up to
SC
Oregon.
did not play as well as they played against us at
Oh
all.
no, for sure.
At
Definitely
all.
not offensively, which you could make the argument. A big part of that is just Oregon has a much better defense than UW does. UW's defense is toilet paper.
We had the caged animal and we killed it. It was the right thing to do, but man, Oregon keeps getting the team we played right after us because they get the Beavs after us too. We get worse, man. They're all we leave them our scraps.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Well, the Beavs are going to be just as fired up about Oregon as they are
it's
about
it's
us.
so it's so hilariously bad how bad the USC defense is.
It's awful. It's
They just
awful.
how much they like just those missed tackles on. It's like a 5 yard slant goes 90 yards for a score. It's just like they're so close. They really are close. But from someone who I talked to in the know, it's a Lincoln Riley problem. It's not an Alex Grinch problem. It's the way he runs practice, and that's been a problem for air raid coaches for a long time. You're
Mm-hmm.
never gonna have a successful D the way he runs his practices.
Well, obviously, runs practice that causes problems.
Just never giving good enough reps to actually practice for DBs in coverages. His practices favor the offense.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes
I mean,
sense.
that's a problem for all coaches of one side, but it's especially pronounced for like this person told me he really doesn't think it's a Grinch problem. He thinks it's a Lincoln Riley problem. And he thinks Grinch might get some redemption
Hmm.
in a different spot. Which, he's got a lot of adversity in his life. So I'm rooting for him. Um shoot, what was I about to, yeah, and it's the same principle why defensive head coaches can never run screens well on offense. It's the same. They can't practice it right. It's
Mm-hmm.
the same principle.
There you go. Well, from an Oregon standpoint, this was like I guess they still got the Beavs, but they're not. Who are they playing this
They're
weekend?
not losing
Probably.
to ASU, that's for
Yeah,
sure.
they're
They
not losing to ASU.
emptied
Yeah,
ASU emptied the playbook to squeak by UCLA.
yeah, yeah. They did. They did. So they're not losing to ASU. So the Beavs are really their last chance to. Well, no, the only team. If U of A and Oregon both finish with two conference losses,
Um, it
who
gets
gets in?
weird. It gets weird. There's this gigantic flow. Let me look. Let me look. Here we go. Let me get the flow chart up. I got this
So
pretty
Wazoo,
handy.
we're saying Wazoo's all but, or not Wazoo. I mean UW's all but clinched. They haven't officially clinched, but they've all but clinched.
Yeah, they're gonna make it. They're not
Yeah,
losing to Wazoo. I'll tell you that right
yeah,
now.
exactly. Yeah.
And
So
I feel I we'll get to this later, but I actually feel pretty good about I'm not as high on the Beavs as others personally. I think we're winning.
so if we beat the Beavs and we
Oh, we're
beat
in.
Wazoo, no, we're
If
definitely
we
in. No, I'm so that so we'd be in. Oregon State would have at least would have three conference losses.
Yeah, let me get the flow chart up. There's a super gigantic flow chart I got.
Arizona needs to beat Utah this weekend, which is not a gimme. We were
No.
predicting they do, but it's not a gimme.
They had a rough
But
one
then they get ASU.
against they had a rough one against Colorado.
No, but they did. I mean, on the road in Boulder.
Tough place in
Um,
November. That is for sure.
yeah.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. Okay. Does Oregon win out? That's a no. Does UW beat Oregon State? Yes. Did Oregon beat Oregon State? We're going to say no, right?
Yes, for this one, yeah.
Uh, did Oregon beat ASU? Are we going to say that or
Yes.
no?
Yes, we will
Yes.
say that one.
Did Arizona win out? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right, here we go. Here's the fun stuff. Uh, if UCLA beats USC, it's UW Arizona. Arizona makes it. If USC beats UCLA, then they need UCLA to beat Cal, and then it's also UW Arizona.
Okay, UCLA will
So
beat Arizona. So, or UCLA will beat Cal. I mean, so
I don't
okay.
know. I don't know. UCLA is firing chip.
I'm sure I did see that.
They've been struggling. Um, I don't know what happens there, man. So, okay, let's see other UW Arizona scenarios. There might be a couple more. This flow chart is absurd because the Pac-12 is stupid in the because I think they botched just how the tiebreakers work. Okay, there's actually a couple more. All right, let's see here. Let me trace this up. So, uh, UCLA needs to beat Cal. Arizona beats Utah. UCLA USC beats UCLA. Utah does not win out. Arizona does not win out. Oregon loses to ASU. Oregon loses to Oregon State, and UW beats Oregon State. That's one of them. This is awesome. All right, here's another. Another. Arizona beats Utah. UCLA beats USC. Utah does not win out. Arizona does not win out. ASU needs to beat Oregon in a lot of these.
That's not going to happen. So
No, it's not. All right, here's another one. Here's some more. All right, here's another one. Okay, Arizona does win out. Arizona wins out. Oregon ASU beats Oregon. That's not happening, but still. Oregon loses to Oregon State, and UW beats Wazoo. And UW loses to Oregon State, and Oregon does not win out. Okay, that's about it. Oh, here's one. Here's an Oregon, Arizona. There's an Oregon, Arizona, Oregon. So these are just hinge on UW losing out. That's not happening. UW's not losing to the Cougs this year
yeah, that's not going to happen.
because all those players have a foot up the door at this point. They don't
Yep.
care.
Yep, exactly.
Alabama rolled Kentucky. We got to get back into it. Oh, wait, no, we
Yeah.
forgot Texas TCU.
Texas, I didn't watch this game. I know I when I turned it
It
off,
got
Texas
close
was
late.
blowing them out. Yeah, it definitely got close late, it looks like. So, and Jonathan Brooks towards ACL, I saw too.
I know
That's
that
a big loss for
sucks.
them. That's a
Big
big
news
loss for
though.
them.
Ewers is coming back.
Yours is back. Yep. Yep. And he's going to be
No,
back
no, no.
next year too.
Next
Yeah,
year.
he's going to be
Yeah, that's
back
what I
too.
mean.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Exactly. I saw that too. So there you go. The 2025 quarterback class is starting to fill out with Shador and Quinn coming back.
Mm-hmm. Is Shadur officially? I know everyone's been talking about it. And everyone knows it's going to happen.
He Dion already said him and Shiloh are both coming out in 2025. So yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So there you go. Bama rolls Kentucky
Rolled them.
here. Oregon State rolls Stanford.
Rolled them. But
Tennessee.
DJ only had 240. I
Well,
really do
Damian
think.
Martinez said 146. I mean, it's
Well,
not like that's like
did you see it was Fenwick had a pretty cool hurdle.
what's that? What do you say?
Fenwick had a pretty cool hurdle on a run.
I didn't see that
It
actually.
was good. It was good. I'd recommend it. Um, I'm not, I think Stanford's pretty,
They're bad.
I think teams do get up for us more than they probably
Mhm.
get up for Oregon State this year. I think we do get teams A games. I don't think Oregon State is yet, especially at this point in the year.
Oregon State doesn't hate Stanford the way they hate UW and Oregon, though, given recent
Yeah,
circumstances.
and it was at home. It wasn't at the farm.
It's gonna be interesting in Corvallis this weekend. Win, lose, or tie. There's no ties in college football, but you know what I mean. They hate us. They're
It's going to
gonna
be the
be.
fans
Oh, they're gonna be toxic as
to
hell,
be,
man.
I know why game day ducked out on them because it's going to be bad.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad. So, um, especially because
I wonder if
game
they
day is
throw shit.
ESPN is an ESPN product, and
Exactly. They
they're
didn't want to
willing to
give
cost
people
this.
they don't want to give people a platform to expose that they did it. They don't want the look, even though they did it.
It's a
I'm
good
just
thing
as
Big Noon
critical. We're
Saturday's not
both
going to be there either.
we're both very critical, of the networks fucking up the conference we like.
Mhm.
Pac-12 had its flaws, but I'm sad to see it go.
Yeah, it was run horribly, but it was fun. It was fun while it lasted, but it was run horribly. You can't
It
deny
was run horribly.
that. Tennessee, a little 13 versus 14 action. Mizzou absolutely destroyed Tennessee. Brady Cook.
MIZ.
I like Brady
COU.
Cook, man. He's gonna be a guy to watch out for in
You said he
25.
was bad last week.
No, not
You
last week.
said he
I was
was
saying I
you
said
said
he
he was
made a
bad.
really I said he made a really bad mistake that led to the loss, which it was. It was a pick to a defensive to Nazir Stackhouse, who's a very good nose
Awesome name.
tackle.
Awesome
It's
name for
for
nose
a nose
tackle.
tackle, it's an amazing name.
Best
But
name.
he's going to be drafted high next year.
Oh
He's going to
yeah.
be probably day two pick. But which wow, a Georgia defensive tackle getting picked high, shocker.
No
But anyways,
way.
they had a chance to come back, and he threw a pick to a nose tackle on the screen. I said that's not a great look. I like Brady Cook though. I think he's a fun player. He's a fun player.
Mizzou's fun. I hope they can keep their class intact.
Yeah.
I think, I hope the vultures don't come coming.
Mm-hmm. I hope so too. They got a fun team down there.
What city
Oklahoma
is
State. That's okay.
Mizzou in? What city's Mizzou in?
Let's see. University of
I
Missouri.
don't know this one. Oh, yeah.
Columbia. I was gonna say Columbia. I felt like Columbia, but wasn't 100% sure, so I just wanted to make sure.
What
There,
state borders Missouri to the north? It's not. It's
Iowa.
Iowa. Iowa. Yeah.
Yep. That's one thing. I do know my U.S. state geography pretty well.
I was thinking
Um,
Ohio for a second.
no, Ohio's way out east, but
Yeah.
Iowa and Ohio sound alike, so I'll give you credit for that. When I was a kid, I could not tell the difference between Iowa and Idaho. I was like, they sound way too similar, man. How am I supposed to know the difference? Turns out once
Mm.
I learned US geography pretty well, I realized there's a massive difference between the two.
Just a little bit.
One's corn and one's potatoes. It's the only difference. Um, but yeah, let's see. Tech, or sorry, let's Oklahoma State getting absolutely railed by
The
UCF.
Gus bus never stops, baby.
Gosh,
Woohoo! In the
man,
bounce house.
it's absolutely destroyed him too.
Big 12 sucks, man.
Big 12 is terrible. Tech went into Lawrence and beat Kansas. Tough look for Kansas. Finally starting to get it turned around. They're still ranked. They're still top 25, but that's not a great look for them.
Hmm.
OU,
Low scoring. Well, they lost Jason Bean too.
they did
That's a
lose
pretty
Jason
big
Bean.
reason why they're down to their fourth quarterback.
It's not great. It's not great. Jason Bean was playing well for him too, so
He
that's a really
was.
tough look, man. I like to see what Kansas is if they Jalen Daniels is able to play the whole year.
He can't though. That's just part of his game.
Yep.
It's there's people are always like, oh, if he can stay healthy the whole time. It's like he can't. Um,
Hmm.
that's part of his game. He's always it's like Mike Iupati. Remember, he was one of my favorite Seahawks. But he was always only going to play 10 games.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough because Kansas really could have competed in this Big 12. I think the way it's is.
I think there's still some room for them to make the Big 12 title. There's a
Let's look
lot of
at that real
tiebreakers going
fast.
on.
Let's look at that real fast
There's
because
a
there's a
bunch of
lot of two-loss
there's a
teams.
lot of 5-2 teams. That's the thing.
Yeah, look at this right here. This is crazy. We'll have a clearer picture after, but look at this: Oklahoma State, Oklahoma, Iowa State, and Kansas State. Kansas is 4-3 themselves, which is tough. That makes it
Look
hard to
at Iowa
envision.
State coming out of nowhere, getting decent
Where did they?
again
This is crazy. 6-4, but
with a
5-2
loss
in
with a loss
conference.
to Miami of Ohio.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy to think. I mean, they're 6-4 overall, but 5-2 in conference. Like there is a path to an 8-4 Iowa State team winning the conference. Now, granted, that would involve them beating Texas, which probably won't happen, but there's a path to it.
Hmm. I love it.
Wild.
It's at Ames, and Texas is 4 of their last 5 in Ames. No, no, no. One of their last five.
There you go. Um, Moving forward here, West Virginia Oklahoma
Oklahoma rolled
rolls
them.
West Virginia.
Rolled them.
LSU played competitive football game with Florida. The offense in Florida hasn't been the problem. It's Jane Daniels, what a game. 372
If he didn't
passing
have three
yards.
losses, he'd have the Heisman, but he's not going to get
Yeah,
it.
he still might, man. Who knows? But I don't think he will. But man, what a game. This is insane.
Mm-hmm.
Like
It's
how many all-purpose yards is that?
He
That's
had 250. He had
over
250 rushing, right?
he
Oh,
had
nearly.
234 rushing,
How much
372
receiving
passing.
he have?
That's almost 600.
No, it
That's
is.
over no, wait, hold on. Am I doing
Yeah,
the
it is.
math right
It's
here?
over. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
over.
it's over 600 total
606.
yards of offense.
Should have
That's
ran a Philly special.
insane.
Give him a reception.
Maybe he did have one. Let's check. I want to check
I don't
his
think he
stat
did,
line.
but that'd be
He probably
funny.
did. That'd be so funny if he did. 606
The little
total
throwback
yards.
strain. That'd be
That's
funny.
just that's bonkers, man.
He's
That's
gonna be in New
actually
York. I think I know what four players are gonna be in New York now. It's me, Mike, Beau, Jaden Daniels, and Marvin Harrison. Even though he
yeah,
shouldn't.
I think you're right. I think you're right. That's absolutely insane though.
I think the Heisman will be
606.
determined in the Pac-12 title.
I
The
agree.
winner of it wins the Heisman.
Yep. 606 passing yards, man. Or 606 total yards, man. That's wild. That performance alone should get him in New York. Especially coming off a concussion the week before, too. Like
I can't
that's
believe
not
he was playing. Yeah.
yeah, that's crazy. Um, my U of A Wildcats going up to Boulder, come from behind victory over Dion's squad. Was rocky for a while there, but they got it done, man. They got it done. They feisty group. Tucson is not a play. Tucson might be the hardest place to play in the Pac-12 right now.
No, because it's colder
Where?
now. Husky Stadium.
Nah, man. People don't fear Husky Stadium right now. The way that Utah just walked in there and put 311 on us in the first half.
I
People aren't fearing
disagree.
Husky Stadium.
I disagree. We're almost 2 years in a row without losing there.
Yeah, but it's not like we're dominating teams there. ASU went in there and kind of kicked our face in a little bit, kicked our teeth in.
Hmm.
I'm not talking about the hard. UW is a good football team, so they win a lot of home games.
Yeah.
They don't have a great home field advantage just because of the home field itself.
No, they absolutely do. The sound is the loudest place in college football. Absolutely. The sound caused the safety. We got 2 points from the crowd.
I've been in those games, man. It's hard to believe in that
You
sometimes.
weren't you weren't at the Oregon game, man.
That's true. I wasn't. That seemed that place. It was seemed like it was
You have
rocking
not
back.
been you have not been there at high points. I'll tell you that.
That's true. That is true. I was there from 2018 to 2022, and there were not a lot of high points in that stretch.
I think Michigan State in 2022 was pretty loud.
It was solid. It was fine. Honestly, those early 21 games, even it was later in 21 when everyone lost faith,
Uh
lost hope. 2020, I guess there
season
was no
season
crowd
was
fans.
over in 21 after week 1, dog. I think everyone
No, no, I know, but I'm saying even that Montana game was pretty, honestly, as far as a game against Montana goes, it was pretty packed. And
I
then,
don't know, it's always hard with the non-cons because students aren't there yet.
but well, it's not honestly. I don't believe in our student section. Maybe
No,
this is slanderous.
it's been packed all year.
No,
Full.
I'm not saying it's not packed. I'm just
God, you're
saying
such a hater. Oh my
I'm
God.
a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. I saw it for 5 years, man. I was always consistently let down by our student section,
I'll say
consistently
that.
leaving at
It was
halftime.
I mean that's a problem everywhere though.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's a problem everywhere, even at the best of the best. There's not many people like us. How about that?
There's not many people like the engineers who designed Husky Stadium. I don't believe in the UW fan base.
I do. I you know
Um, Call me a hater. Okay, how about this? I don't care. I don't believe in the UW student section. I'll believe in the fan base. I'll believe in the rest
I
of the
don't believe
stadium, but
in
that student
I
section,
don't
I
believe in
always
any
will be.
student
I
section.
will always be stunned if they are there after halftime, especially on a rainy day. If
Hey
they're real
man,
fans, they would stick through the
hey
rain.
man. Oh, season, it's been real damn good. I'll tell you that. Not a blank spot in the student section.
Believe it when I see it, which I won't see because I'm not
You
going to
won't.
UW anytime
All
soon.
right, let's get back to
You
it.
know, it was a great student section. It was Tucson, Arizona, baby.
For their biggest home game of the year.
Talking about they were packed against UCLA. They were packed against Oregon State. They were packed against
Were
UW.
you there though?
I wasn't there for those games, but I watched on
How?
TV.
Oh my!
You
Shut
didn't see
up!
Gronk? Okay, did if you watched the UCLA game, you saw Gronk was in the student section. He was firing them up. It was awesome.
Shut up! You're such a hater.
Gronk's a legend, man. I believe in the UW football team. Well, sorry, I believe in the UW football's offense. How about that?
Mhm.
I'm not a hater of that. I'm not a Penix hater or any of our receivers hater. That's for sure.
I'm not a hater of anyone on the O line or tight
Or
ends.
the O line. I like the entire offensive coaching staff. I like all the players on offense really. Um, yeah, I'm not a hater of anyone in the offense.
Mhm. Is there anyone you're not a hater of on the defense?
Braylon and ZTF,
What
the
about
two we
coaching
got to
staff?
know. Oh, on the coaching staff, Anoke, Inge, Schmidt.
I'll give Schmidt a lot of credit for how good the special teams looked this year, especially kickoff team.
Yeah, that's it. Um,
I agree. I agree with you
oh,
there.
Eddie on defense.
Oh
Can't hate
yeah,
Eddie. You
Eddie.
cannot hate Eddie.
Eddie's awesome.
Um,
Carson Bruner.
oh, Carson Bruner too. Yeah, the front seven. I like a lot, like a lot of the front seven.
I
Don't
like
ask me about.
Jabbar.
I don't even really like Jabbar, man. He gets burned so much.
No, no, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
Yeah, he
He's
does.
that's EJ. That's EJ.
No, EJ. I got my own thoughts on EJ, but
All right,
nah.
let's get back
When you
to it.
watch
We
the
got
TV copies, Jabbar gets burned a lot, dude. But yeah.
I
Anyways, let's get
disagree.
back to it. U of A. Or we covered that game. Let's talk. Let's talk Iowa Rutgers hitting the under on that record low 27 point
Always,
total.
always bet the under on an Iowa game until they
Yeah,
prove it wrong. But
especially
hey,
if they're
guess
playing
what?
Rutgers.
They had 400 yards of offense. Guess how many points they scored?
22. 22, baby.
22. They had 400
Um,
yards of offense for the first time in 4 years.
Poor Brian Ferentz got 400 yards of offense and he still couldn't get 25 points. Poor man, poor guy. But credit where credit's due. They're gonna win the Big Ten West. So congrats for that.
Have they
Um,
clinched it yet?
oh, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Let me check here. I don't think they
They
have.
should.
No, they have. They have. Yep. They've already clinched it because they've got the worst they could finish now would be 8-4, and the best that.
What's
Oh, wait, never
conference
mind. That's a
record?
conference record. Never mind. I was looking here. Okay.
Who they play
The
next?
worst.
Illinois.
They need to win one more. They need to win
Yeah.
one more.
If they win
Um.
against Illinois, which I think they will, they got it clinched.
Yeah.
Look
Or
at that
Nebraska. They just have to
parity.
beat one of them.
Parity in the Big Ten West, 3-4 across the board.
3-4 across the board, except five. Iowa at the top and Purdue at the bottom. Credit to Northwestern, man. They only need one more
Did
win to get to
not.
bowl eligible.
I
Did not see
cannot
that one
believe they're
coming.
going to be bowl eligible. That is very surprising.
Who left do they have to play to? Are they gonna
I
get
wonder if
there?
they'll lift the tag.
Who do they need to beat to get there?
They'll
Purdue and
do it. Yep.
Illinois. They're doing
Yep.
it. They're doing it. Wow. Purdue or Northwestern's gonna be bowl eligible. That's kind of
I
wild,
wonder if they
actually.
lift the tag then.
Maybe, they might, honestly. There you go. So
Tulane struggled against a not very good Tulsa squad.
I guess a bad Tulsa squad for sure. Um, but
Future quarterback, future Husky, Michael Pratt.
I guess we'll see. He got an invite to the Senior Bowl. Now, granted, that doesn't mean he's not going to go. But
I think it got set that he's staying for the most part.
did okay,
I
interesting.
don't think it's
Well, there you
official
go.
yet, but people are saying he's staying and transferring is what he's going to transfer up.
Yeah, might as well, right?
I think
North
scouts
Carolina.
are telling him he needs to prove it at a higher level. So that's why it's why they stormed the
Interesting.
field after beating Duke, and
Well,
not
it's
in
their biggest
basketball.
rival. It's their biggest rival.
I don't know.
Even in
You're ranked.
football, it's
They're
still their
not.
biggest rival. No, that's true. And this is what I was telling you earlier. Like, I storm the field for big upsets, even rivalry games.
You
I still
stormed the
don't
field
storm
in
the field.
UW Oregon. I don't like storming if you're not lower ranked or higher
We
ranked.
were we were
Whatever you
higher
want to say.
ranked
It.
against Oregon.
Except in situations like Oregon, I think that's okay.
Yeah, UNC Duke is a huge rivalry.
No.
Usually in
I'm
North.
talking about ending.
Yeah, this was a double OT win.
But no, but Duke's not even ranked though. That's the thing.
Oh yeah, but I mean, it's still their biggest rival, and we
I
were
don't
ranked
like that
higher than
field storm.
Oregon.
Yeah, but that was a top 10 matchup, dog.
No, I don't get that. No, I know what you're saying, but I'm just saying, like, I'd honestly, the only time I ever storm the field is if it's an upset.
Okay. I thought you said you were okay with the storm after the Oregon game.
I mean, I don't like it any more than I like UNC storming the field against Duke, honestly.
I think it's a very different case.
Whatever, it's you beat your biggest rival. Like UW's biggest rival is Oregon. UNC's biggest rival is Duke. Wazoo's biggest rival is UW. I would expect them to storm the field like they did in 2021 if they beat us. I would expect it. I wouldn't like it. The only time I will ever like storming the field is like when Stanford stormed the field when they beat USC when they were 38-point underdogs back in 2007 or 2008, whenever it was. That's the time you storm that damn field. Um, but if it's your biggest rival, I can get behind a storming the field.
All right.
When U of A stormed the field, and just to prove I'm not just a UW hater, when U of A stormed the field against Oregon State to get to bowl eligible, I didn't like that either.
I liked it because I think with how much U of A's been through, how awful some of that was, I'll give
Yeah,
it to them.
but
They haven't been bowl eligible for 7 years.
17, yeah, 7 years. So yeah, I said the same thing then, but um, lastly here, Kansas
And that was
State.
against was Oregon State was ranked then. They were ranked
It was
higher.
a ranked Oregon State team, so that was an upset, but it wasn't like a massive upset. It's not like you were beating like Oregon.
I think I think if you beat a team ranked higher than you, that's an upset and it deserves a storm.
Well, there you go then.
It was very
Wow.
funny how late they put on the Jumbotron of do not storm the field for UW Oregon because it was like almost full when they put up the graphic.
A little bit of a they knew what they were doing there. They knew
Oh
what they
yeah,
were
you're not
doing there.
keeping them off the field.
Yeah. And then lastly, Kansas State destroys Baylor.
Dave
Um,
Aranda, you are the USC defensive coordinator.
Dave Aranda, you are the next Nick Saban reclamation project.
I think he's going to LA.
I could see it. I could see it. It would be a good fit. It
It
would be a
would
good
be.
fit. So,
Um, Dave Aranda just didn't work in Texas. It's hard to
mhm,
be a Texas football coach with how much in both money and face time you have to give to Texas high school football coaches.
mhm.
You know who I think GJ Kenny's going to go there.
I could see that. It's not a bad fit. It's not a bad fit.
Army barely squeaked by Holy Cross.
Yeah, it's not a great look, especially a week after they beat Air Force. Air Force falling off for sure. Let's see.
Maryland beat Nebraska.
Nebraska had a chance to climb back into Big Ten West contention. They blew it. Blew it against Michigan State. Now blew it against Maryland. Hate to see it for them.
It's the process. It's going to take some time, and I think everyone knows that in that fan
No,
base, and they're going to
for
be
sure.
patient. Let Matt Rule do his thing. He knows how to do it. Let him cook.
Clemson. That's true. I mean, this is the best he's ever been in his first year to
Yeah,
college. So there you go. Clemson destroyed Georgia Tech.
he
Is there
takes over
any
schools that are doing bad. Liberty Bibberty rolling.
Liberty Bibberty?
It's going to be an interesting competition for who's going to be the Group of Five representative. James Madison, who, if you would have told me this would have happened last year, I would have laughed at you. Because UConn was good last year. What happened?
They fell off big time.
The Biffster, um, the week that he defended Harbaugh, OT lost to Memphis. Memphis, good program though. Charlotte
Hmm
is historically pretty bad.
A lot of random G5 teams in here.
Is this the bottom point for Wisconsin? Um, Losing
It
to
doesn't get much,
Northwestern.
yeah, by multiple scores at home. It doesn't get much worse than that. They were
What?
ranked this
Yeah,
earlier this year. That's crazy to even think about. They're
yeah,
horrible.
it's rough this year for them. Don't know what to tell you if you're Wisconsin at this point. Maybe give it another year, but it's bad.
Nah, you have to give Fickle more than 1 year. But yeah, it's been awful so far. Purdue
Camp
beat
Randall's empty
Minnesota.
though.
Yeah, it's not a great look. Purdue actually really boat raced Minnesota here.
They've been
Row the
having a rough
boat.
year.
Race the
Row the
boat.
boat, race the boat.
Let's
Is
see.
Fleck getting fired too? Yeah, it's
He
interesting.
honestly, he probably should,
We had our
honestly.
first bloody Sunday, and it's interesting what's happening. What's going to happen next? I can see a couple people that might get fired. Aranda, Fleck.
Texas State fell to Coastal, but that's all right.
Not a good coastal though. This isn't past coastal in my opinion.
Yeah.
Oh, Wazoo got fucked in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you see what happened?
I didn't actually.
So Cougs were driving late. Had like a 20-yard pass to get into field goal range, but right before that, a player was trying to get off the field subbing for Cal. Just Dickert told him to go down. He went down. Play. They called the playback, and that was game. They
Dang,
couldn't get
man.
back there. Yeah, they got fucked. Wazoo's on a 6-game losing streak since their bye. The week that Dickert said my roster basically said, for like, in a much simplified version, my roster's getting rated this, and that my roster's getting rated, and I don't have an offer from Michigan State anymore.
Dang, man.
It's gonna be a big game for Colorado.
No, it will be. Shoot, it's gonna be a late one too.
Not till after dark in Pullman. Ugh,
Yeah.
it's gonna be empty in Martin Stadium, man.
It's crazy
Future
to think because if you'd earlier this year, just getting Colorado in town was prime for a sellout crowd with expensive seats, and now
Prime
it's
Four.
it's not
Nice
that
job.
anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think they're still selling them out. Uh, Future Michigan State head coach Butch Jones falls to Southern Arkansas.
Man, they're gonna love him up there in East Lansing when he cries after
What's
he loses 49
South
nothing to Michigan.
how's South Alabama looking?
I don't know how's South Alabama looking. Let's take a look here. 5-5.
Man,
Friendly reminder that ranked Oklahoma State, number 23 in the country, Oklahoma State, got absolutely boat raced by a 5-5 group of five team
well coached.
in Stillwater. But
Yeah, that
yes.
was pretty embarrassing. Stop scheduling South Alabama because
Yeah,
UCLA had a
they've
scare too.
yeah. Let's see. Anything else here of note? A&M destroys Mississippi State, then fires Jimbo the next day. That's fun.
That
Both of
was
these
crazy.
coaches got fired on Sunday, so that's
Yeah,
interesting.
after a win. Yeah, that was a fired coaches bowl. The
The
check at
fire.
halftime.
You should imagine there's like a they just like run into each other in the bar. They both get told they're getting fired right after the game. So they just both run into each other in a bar in College Station, like you two, huh?
Hey, what's up with you?
ASU beat UCLA. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit already. Iowa State destroys BYU. Fun, good for them. San Jose State destroyed Fresno State,
And that's a
man.
rivalry game. That's a Valley Trophy or whatever.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's wild. They destroyed them
And
too.
we said Fresno's going to roll.
Yeah, and then
Air Force
Hawaii
lost the
destroyed Air
Hawaii
Force.
test, man. What happened
Dude,
to our boys?
man, Air Force
Let's
has
see if I
fallen
missed
off.
anything else interesting. I don't think we missed much here. No, nothing too interesting.
Yeah, well, here we go. We'll move on to week 12. Unless any closing thoughts on
It was
week 11.
it was didn't look like a great slate, but it was good.
Yeah, ended up
Good.
being fun. Ended up being fun. Um, Here we go. Jason Candle winning tonight against Bowling
This was a
Green.
crazy game. It was a 4th and 1 near the end of the game. They were down like a lot at halftime too. 10-1, I think.
Spare five?
It was a
Yep, 10
fun
and
night.
1.
It was a fun night
Shoot,
at
they
Max.
might be. I mean, if
And
man,
they were close. They're close to being 11-0 right now.
man, how are they not a contender for that group of five
They
bid?
are.
They're not ranked though.
Well, yeah, duh. They're Toledo.
Yes, but I mean, I don't know what makes Toledo any worse than like Tulane or
Well, Tulane,
uh
has some credit from beating USC still.
that's true. That's true. You got a good point there. Um
And then Eastern Michigan had got a win on their gray turf at the factory. I bet their head coach, Chris Creighton, could be a candidate for Michigan State too. That's disappointing.
Looking forward here. More action games coming up. We finally get another Friday night game, actually. And finally get another weekday Pac-12 game. It feels like we haven't had one
No, I don't
forever.
think we've had too many this year.
Yeah, I remember there was the Oregon State Utah game, which lived up to the hype.
Hmm.
And then Colorado Wazoo is the only
No,
other
that
one.
in that game, Utah was bad.
No, I mean, but it just lived up to the hype, and that was a close game the whole way.
Hmm.
If you liked offense, it was not the game for you.
No,
But
I mean,
it was
that's
close.
part of it. That was the worst Utah team because Bryson Barnes hadn't peaked yet,
True.
and they
Very
weren't
true.
using Sione Vaki. Honestly, just change them to offense. I bet you have decent safeties. You're Kyle Whittingham.
Mm-hmm. DC going to Pitt. You can
This would
get
be
tickets for
close
$4.
for bowl eligibility here.
It's true. For BC.
I saw just straight up ACC logo signs at game day, so they were doing the Oregon Bodacious thing too.
Mm-hmm. I know BC's already bowl eligible, actually. They're 6-4.
I think one of them's against the FCS.
I think you're right, though. Yeah, I think you are. It was Holy Cross. Yeah, barely squeaked by Holy Cross. So, yeah, they'll need this one to ensure bowl eligibility, but they'll be Pitt. I'm not too worried about that.
I think I could see I could see Halfley being a disappointing choice as well for Michigan State.
Mm-hmm. Should be funny if they picked him after. I mean, it's just really mediocre runs at BC. I mean, not that BC's like a great program that you're going to win a ton of games at,
They're
but
at a
like,
total no, it's awful there. You're at a total island. I think you're the northernmost or northeasternmost
mm-hmm.
Power Five.
Oh,
And they're
easily,
by
definitely.
far, they're really on an island. And it's not
Mm-hmm.
like New England is a powerhouse, is a great fertile recruiting ground.
Right. No, you're right about that. But they do have legacies a little bit with like Luke Kuechly.
They have fun history. Matt Ryan, Luke Kuechly,
Yeah,
Doug Flutie.
Doug Flutie, yeah. So they've had guys in the past.
But their best days are behind them. Um,
Yeah,
they're definitely
yeah,
getting left out of the next round.
for sure. Um USF,
I'm
UTSA,
excited for
they're
that.
Colorado
I'm gonna watch
Wazoo.
that game. I'm gonna watch that game.
That'll be a fun one, I think, actually. They'll
I want to watch that at a bar on a Friday.
that's a good Friday bar game. I
That
think where
is
you're not like super invested in the game, but you're just like kind of interested to see what's gonna happen because
Pac-12 after dark bar games are fun. They're
Colorado needs to
fun.
win out to get to bowl eligible. and one of them's at Utah.
So
So
you hear who ended up being the culprit of the jewelry theft? It was UCLA
who is it?
recruits.
That doesn't surprise me at all, man. Recruits get away with a lot, dude.
Got any fun
Honestly, you know
stories?
what? It
No
was
names.
probably no, I don't have anything like that because we never did anything like that crazy. But um, let's see. The funniest thing actually would probably be on an official visit where the current player, and this actually isn't too crazy compared to what happens, but basically the current players, like we tell them to go hang out. Each recruit gets paired with a current player when they come on official visit to just kind of hang out, be like they're kind of like their what do we call them? Now I'll think of it later, but basically like be their dude for the
Yeah, be their
whole
host.
visit. Host, that's it. Um be their host for the visit. One guy comes back Saturday morning after he'd been out with this guy on Friday night. He is so fucking hungover, dude. And this is like a 17-year-old
Oh
kid.
no.
And it was a bad look. Oh man. The coaches were not happy. Were not happy about it. Um, guy actually ended up committing though.
Is he still on the team?
No, he actually decommitted and flipped to a another Pac-12 school I won't name, but
Is he still playing?
he is still playing. Yes,
Is he good?
he's not doing much right now.
I think I might know.
Want to take a guess?
I won't do it here. I'll text it to you.
Text it to me right now. Yeah, text me. It was not him. No,
Decent
no.
guess?
Same class though. It was a good. It was actually a great guess, but it was actually the same class, but it was not him.
Okay, I'll think about it some other time.
Yeah. Actually, even it was actually even the same position. Actually,
Oh,
funny enough. So
ooh. I man, I don't follow recruiting too close because I know you'll never be satisfied. That's why I don't like to follow recruiting, even though I know we need to be better. Like even if you're a Bama fan, it's never gonna be good enough.
mhm.
So, um, but so I'll
Actually,
have to do
the
some
funny
thinking.
thing is he also flipped to the same school that he flipped to.
Oh,
Actually, let me confirm that real fast. I just want to make 100% sure
did he ever
because
play
it's
for
the same
UW?
position. He never played for
Okay,
UW
okay.
though. Oh yeah, and he's still there too. He's still there. So it's the same position, the same grad year, just
Wait, at the
different.
school that this person flipped to or later transferred to?
Flip two.
Flipped to.
They were
Okay.
both a UW commit in that same grad year at again the same position. Who all both flipped to the same school.
Okay. Okay.
That's
Interesting.
actually kind of
Because
crazy.
I
It's
know the
actually
one I guessed is no longer there.
yeah no, but the one who is still there. He's still there.
Okay.
Actually, let's check his stats here. Honestly, maybe he is doing something and I just haven't been paying attention. Let's do a quick Google search here. Um,
That was
but
Jeremy's
yeah,
year. Yeah. Before he left
yeah.
us. Hmm.
Let's see his stats on the school's website. In 2 years, he's played in 8 games and made 5 tackles.
That's better
So,
than the guy I guessed.
yeah, that's true. At least he's still at the other
One thing
school.
I like about Lanning's defense is they definitely rotate a lot of D linemen.
Uh-huh.
I mean, they have the horses to do it. That's the thing.
Uh-huh.
It's pretty expensive to get those horses.
Yeah, Dorless and Birch, you might as well use them. So,
Yep. Yep. And then
uh,
you got Aguilera and
right.
Purchase. They started a couple of true freshmen. They're not starting, but playing heavily. I like that. I would like to run something like his defense. I like, how they're multiple and they can run blitz packages, but we don't have the depth to do it.
Mm-hmm. Move on here to the Saturday games in the Week 12 slate.
Uh-oh, it's this time of the year. It's FCS week for the SEC and the
Yep,
ACC.
yep. Michigan. Oh, credit to Louisville. They're going to Miami.
That's conference though. They did theirs at another time.
Yeah, true.
Well, I think did Louisville play West Virginia or Big East?
Who did they play? I know Pitt played West Virginia. They
So did
played
Penn
no, they played
State.
Murray State. They played Murray State and Notre Dame, to be fair.
And they stomped them. Respect to them.
Yeah.
Well, they're playing Kentucky as a non-con. That's their rivalry game. Respect.
Yeah, true. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do that.
Respect. See, I respect ACC and SEC teams who do that.
Yeah, like Clemson, South Carolina is another
Mm-hmm.
good one. Georgia Tech,
Georgia plays Georgia Tech. They're not good, but they do it.
Yeah, they do. They do. They blow them out every year. But I mean, that's the rivalry, and it hasn't always been that way. Georgia Tech's
No.
beaten Georgia quite a few times.
Oh
So
yeah.
not recently, but they have.
They shouldn't
So
have fired Paul Johnson. They really fucked up.
um, Rutgers going to Penn State. That's interesting. Ole Miss, UL, Monroe. Okay, so I got my big stupid upset. I'm just kidding.
Yes.
Oh man, how's UL? They're horrible,
Is
right? Yeah,
Rich Rod
two
still
and
their
eight.
coach?
Who's that?
Rich Rod?
I
Rich
have
Rod
no
was their coach for
idea.
a little bit because his son played there.
I have no idea. Probably not because of how those Richard coaching tenures usually go, but who
Yeah.
knows, man. Um, Actually, you
Arizona
know what?
Rich Rod was fun.
Nothing's stopping us from
Arizona
Googling it
Rich
real
Rod was
fast.
fun. I don't think he is anymore.
Yeah, who
Yep,
Terry
Terry
Bowden.
Bowden. Is that Bobby's son?
Um, OU on to BYU.
Coastal versus Army would have been a really fun matchup 2 years ago, not this
Yeah,
year, because both of them had changed their offenses. Toilet Bowl in the Big Ten.
yeah. Here we go. Purdue Northwestern.
Who's
Northwestern's gonna clinch bowl
A&M's
eligibility.
interim? Is A&M gonna be Petrino is bowl eligible?
I
Bust
think
out
it
the
is
next,
Petrino. Put
bust out the
Petrino's
neck
the
brace, baby.
That'd be great. That'd be great. They're already are bowl eligible actually. Yeah, all their wins have come against P5 or FBS opponents. So yeah, Texas A&M will be playing in a bowl game with Bobby Petrino as the head coach. Um,
That's so funny.
Sacred Heart, UConn. That we will be there.
$5 a little pricey.
Yeah, honestly, they
UMass,
should pay you.
UMass at
They should pay
Liberty.
you to go to that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, UMass Liberty.
Charlotte at Rice at Charlotte. App State at JMU game day. 173.
Bang, and they're charging an arm and a leg there. Jeez. Ball State, Hawaii, Wyoming.
Utah, Arizona. That's gonna be a fun one.
Yeah,
And it's on Pac-12 Network.
why is that on Pac? That should be on ABC, dude. Are you kidding me? Look at the rest of this. Okay, I guess they got UC. Okay, they'll always put USC, UCLA in there, but couldn't have got that on ESPN like 12:30. What's gonna be on ESPN2 at 12:30? Oklahoma State, Houston? Nah. Give me
Oh,
U of A, Utah. That's ridiculous. That's
that's
terrible.
awful. And then we get
Um,
UCLA, USC too. That's be nice. But that's skipping ahead.
no, you're
Um,
good. Do any of these games look
oh,
interesting at all?
a great coaching matchup of two coaches that are going to rise in the ranks this offseason. Texas State at Arkansas State. T-shirt
Whoever wins
idea,
gets the Michigan State
T-shirt
job.
idea, like Butch Jones and the Sparty Spartan shaking hands and like he's in like coaching gear. That'd be a good one.
Butch Jones
At
being
Spartan
Michigan
Stadium.
State's next head coach is my favorite joke from this pod, honestly. If as soon as it doesn't happen, the fact that joke would die will be a little sad. Um, how's Arkansas State doing though? They're 5-5. They only need one more win. Although I guess Stony Brook, they get one more. They're probably not gonna win that.
Marshall. They've really fallen
Yeah,
off.
No, have they? Okay, well there you go then. Marshall will get him to bowl eligibility. Congrats, Butch Jones.
Charles Huff was a big name, but it's fallen off a little bit.
Let's see. Georgia, Tennessee, I guess. Georgia's gonna destroy them. Illinois, Iowa, take the under. North Carolina, Clemson will be fun in Clemson. That's fun.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a good one.
That'll be one to tune
Georgia,
into.
Tennessee, someone beat them, please. Someone do it.
It's not gonna be Tennessee. It won't
No,
be till Bama in the ACC championship at the earliest, probably.
that's gonna be
U
fun.
UCLA, USC,
Chips last game, maybe. Who
Chips last
knows?
game.
Dead man walking.
Dead man walking. Exactly. Well, I'll be interesting. I'll be interesting to see because what's SC? I mean, shoot, man. If SC doesn't start winning a couple more games, they're going to be like a bottom Power Five team. They're going to be like a Sun Bowl level team, which is not good considering what their
No,
expectations were. This is their last home game, or this is their last game period,
they're
actually.
probably going to the Alamo Bowl. Not
Yeah,
worse.
at best, we were in the Alamo Bowl last year with 2 wins.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
The Baylor TCU game, the disappointment bowl. We might be having a guest joining us shortly, by the way.
Oh,
An
okay.
esteemed guest.
Esteemed guest. All right, here we go. Let's
Oh,
get
a
through
game
these.
I'm excited for. UNLV Air Force. We'll save him for UW B's
Yeah.
prediction. There we go.
Okay.
That's going to be a good one right there. Oregon in the desert. Voodoo magic one last time. Does it strike? Who knows? Could happen.
The Jane Daniels. All of a sudden,
I
Trent
did.
Bourget turns into Jane Daniels.
Oh, that'd be funny. They were running swinging gate to beat you. I'm surprised we haven't talked about that game. That was an absurd game, but they ran probably a third of their snaps were swinging gate and they beat them. Kenny Dillingham doesn't give a fuck anymore because they're not making a bowl.
Mm.
New Mexico State is actually having a really good season. They're bowl eligible.
Do they shock Auburn on the road?
I think it could happen. I think it could happen. They're really rolling.
We'll see. Let's see. UCF, do they carry the positive momentum into beating Tech?
They could.
Guess we'll find out.
Kansas State, Kansas. That's fun.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. How's that game not on rivalry weekend?
Yeah.
Who's Kansas playing on rivalry weekend? Cincinnati. What the fuck?
Oh, what? They screwed that up.
Who's Kansas State playing on rivalry weekend? Iowa State. What? It's dumb. That's so dumb. That's dumb. Get that out of here. These teams should be playing a rivalry
Nebraska at
weekend.
Wisconsin will be interesting.
Yeah.
Texas has lost once or won once in the last 5.
Wait, oh yeah. Speaking of games that should also be played on rivalry weekend, Cal and Stanford. Although they never play on rivalry.
No, they
weekend.
never
always
do.
play the weekend before. So, it's normal, but still dumb. Where were
Florida at
we at?
Mizzou. We were just passing UW. Oh wait,
Oh yeah.
Boise State, Utah State, and Diablos gone.
Yep. Here we go.
I'd love him as DC.
Definitely be an upgrade over what we have. Look who's joining at the perfect time. Steam guest joining right as we get to UW. Do we let him wait and come back to UW, or do we just
Let's bring him in now. Let's do it.
let's do it? Let's do it. Oh, joining live here on West Coast Draft Podcast, we've got UW Daily, Steam reporter,
Sports editor.
sports editor. That's right.
Wow,
And
I'm extremely sorry about that, you guys. It was in my calendar for tomorrow, but
No
yeah,
worries. You came
it's
at
all
the
good. You're
perfect time.
actually joining at the perfect time. We're just getting
Perfect.
ready to talk Huskies beefs.
perfect. That's works with me.
Well, there you go. Well, why you want to offer like a any insight into the game? What you're
Yeah.
hearing down on the floor in the offices?
I'll tell you what I'll say is this. I think Oregon State is favored by 2.5 now. The line opened with Washington being favored, and now Oregon State is favored. I think if there were a game that the Huskies were to lose, it would not surprise me if they slip up here. And I don't say that to be pessimistic because I've picked them to win every single game up to this point. But Oregon State, they're a top 10 team. They're, I think number 11.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a lot of people see the Oregon State and that beaver logo next to their name and assume that it's not all that daunting of a game. But Oregon State's going to come out swinging, man. This is one of maybe the last meaningful game they're ever going to play, I guess, besides the Oregon game. But they're going to come out ready. And I think, they already have the 2 losses, but their backs are against the wall in terms of the Pac-12 championship. I don't think that the Huskies will lose this game, but I've seen a lot of people saying that this is going to be a pushover game. And certainly I don't think we're going to waltz into Reser and win easily.
Mm-hmm. Well said. I like that subtle little jab there. They're one of their last meaningful games they'll ever play.
Well, with the lawsuit result today, we got to throw a little shade at them.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, that lawsuit sucks that I feel bad for Beaver and Coug fans. This season's been so clouded by that for them. I don't think anyone was surprised by that, but let's talk football this week.
Feel bad for Coug fans. So
let's talk football this week, though. I'm excited to, go into a renovated Reser. I will say this. I think this Oregon State defense is not as good as it was last year. They lost 2 very good corners and a very good middle linebacker. Their corners are small. They have a very good safety in Oladapo, but they struggle tackling and they struggle in coverage. I think is going to happen, I think it's going to be similar to last year's Oregon game. I think it's going to be very high scoring, a duel back and forth. I think it's going to be a lot like that. It just depends on what DJU comes out. DJU's never really won a big game. I think maybe you could say their Utah game, but if you get DJ in the tank, he is a very different quarterback. But Oregon State has an incredible offensive line. They have probably a top 20 pick at left tackle. Fuaga, I forget his name. We are the West Coast Draft Pod, but it's gonna be interesting to try to pressure him. But I'm really excited for this. I got the dogs rolling though. I don't think they can stop us.
I will say this to your point, Rob, and not to take any airtime away from Beau, but you're exactly right about DJ. I think it's going to take not just a good game from him to beat the Huskies. It's going to take a great game from him from 4 quarters. It's going to take a Bryson Barnes from the first half, except over 2 halves this time to beat the Huskies. I believe, I don't have the stats in front of me, but I don't think DJ has thrown for 300 yards in a game all season. I think that he's managed a lot of games. For the most part, he's done what he needed to do to manage those games, with the exception of Washington State. And I think Arizona, he did okay. But the point is, I think the Huskies aren't going to lose a step just because Oregon State has a good defense. I think we saw that against Utah. We didn't score 50, but the offense was still humming along. So I think there's a chance that the Huskies offense randomly doesn't show up like it didn't against Arizona State. But I don't think the threat of Oregon State's defense is going to be enough on its own. To your point, I think it's going to take a big game from DJ. If he shows up, it wouldn't surprise me if OSU wins this game. But if it's game manager DJ and Oregon State scores 28, 31, 35 even points, I don't think that'll be enough. And I think the Huskies would win.
I'll say one more thing before you, Beau.
Go ahead, Rob.
I had a fun stat that we talked about before EK came, but the Beavs put up 62 against Stanford. DJ threw for 240. So that was very good to say. They have yet to play one of the top offenses in the pack. Floor is yours, Beau.
No, that's true. I actually agree with both you guys. I know I've been kind of the UW doomer, especially on the defensive side of the ball, the past couple weeks, honestly. And really, I was really feeling them leading up to the Oregon game. I was feeling them after that, and then ASU kind of threw a lot of wet water on that, or cold water on that. Sorry, water's always wet. Fight me on that. But I actually, the way the Utah game went is very similar to how I imagined this Oregon State game would go. So I'm actually going to kind of stick to, I think it ends up being a similar result. I think the way our defense tackles, Reed, not great. does not pair well with the Oregon State rushing attack. They got a guy in Damian Martinez that I am a big fan of. I know it's not draft eligible for a couple of years, but I know we'll be talking about him for
Good
sure if he ends up
transfer to
staying.
Washington.
Maybe he should. Maybe he should. I'd be a
Please,
big fan of that.
please.
Please. But he's a good player. I expect him to get his for sure, especially early in this game. However, I also think Washington, Michael Penix, he's just playing really good football right now. You can say what you will about some of the missed throws he had against Utah. It was really windy there. He played he played fantastic against SC. I mean, it's redundant to say Michael Penix is playing fantastic football right now. Of course he is. He's probably going to win the Heisman Trophy. I just don't know if Oregon State's going to be able to keep up. So I'm gonna say the first half of this game probably feels very similar to the Utah one, where it's just like the UW defense is having troubles tackling, but their offense is carrying the slack a little bit. But I also think that with the way this game goes, I think they keep their foot on the pedal a little bit and they go up against a defense, which I think is worse than Utah's was last week. They keep their foot on the pedal a little bit more in the second half than they did against Utah. And they win, I don't know, let's say 38-24. That's going to be my final prediction. So there you go.
Bet the house with the Huskies being underdogs.
With dogs? Oh, for sure.
One other thing that I found interesting about Oregon State was their receivers, their top 3 receivers are very small. Silas Bolden, Anthony Gould, and Josiah Irish, shout out, played against them a couple of times. Small. We struggle against the big boys. Vele had a good game against us. I like us against some of those smaller guys, especially Jabbar. Reeser's gonna be insane though. It's gonna be loud. It's gonna be toxic, hostile. There's gonna be some mad fans in there. There's gonna be some really mad fans in there. Just from all the Pac-12 drama, and I don't blame them. If I was a Beef fans, I'd be pissed too. It's gonna be fun to see it play out. It's gonna be good. I hope we make a statement.
Well, on that point, your statement with the playoff rankings releasing a few hours ago, I know that no one should realistically get up in arms about playoff rankings at this point. If the Huskies win out, they're going to be in the playoff. Ohio State has to play Michigan. The very least, no one else slips up. The Huskies will be in as a 4 seed if they go undefeated. But with that said, I think that there is room for some frustration that the Huskies aren't ahead of Florida State at number 4 in this poll. So I have a feeling I know where y'all are going to go with it, but do you think that the Huskies deserve that 4 spot? Do you think it doesn't matter? 5 is okay for now?
Go ahead, Beau.
So yes and yes, actually, because of exactly what you said with the way the schedule will work out. The Huskies are going to be in the 4 spot at the very worst if they win out. So the fact that they're at 5 right now doesn't really concern me. However, when you look at resume, I cannot see how they can continue to put Florida State ahead of them other than for the simple fact that they're the East Coast. There's the East Coast bias factor. It just makes no sense to me. Resume, we beat Oregon, we beat SC, we beat Arizona, which at the time might not have looked like an impressive win. Now it really does, especially in Tucson.
Number 16.
Number 17. They're 17.
Oh,
you're close there, man. But even so, I mean, if they win out, they'll have won in Corvallis. Can't shake that. That's for sure. So, it is. On one hand, it's like, does it really matter? At the end of the day, it probably won't, but it is a little concerning to see how much disrespect they are still getting from the committee. So that'd be how I phrase that. Go ahead, Rob.
Oh, absolutely. Well said. When we talked about this a little earlier, we deserve a lot more respect. Florida State has had an equal amount of struggles as us, and that doesn't get talked about. And then we've had much better resume. One of the only things that the CFP's been talking about for the last however many years it's been alive is ranked wins, except this year. And we have the most ranked wins. You can make an argument for that. For that, we should be ranked number 1. I don't think we should be ranked number 1. but they got to be consistent. It's eye test for some spots. It's ranked wins and resume for other spots. It's very frustrating.
Mhm.
We deserve some more love. TCU was getting more love at this point last year than us. Now I know this is a very different year than usual in college football. There's a lot of undefeateds late. And there's some really interesting scenarios with Texas, Alabama, Georgia going to go on, which I'm so excited to see play out. But it's frustrating. It's really frustrating to not get the love that a lot of us think we deserve.
Especially if they do win out and it ends up being that 3 of their ranked wins were on the road in Corvallis, LA, and Tucson. And, if they went out and beat Oregon again, the Pac-12 championship, beating a top 6 ranked team on a neutral site. At that point, even with everything going on, you'd have to move UW ahead of Florida State, even if everything else shaked out that way. But
let me.
Sorry. No, you're good. I was just going to say it's just frustrating because at the same time, East Coast biases are a very real thing. So it's so hard to account for that.
And don't worry too much about structure here. It's very unstructured. You can butt in anytime you want.
Yeah.
Okay. No worries. I just want to propose to you both and hear your thoughts on the nightmare scenario. Washington goes into Corvallis, loses by, we'll say, a touchdown, beats Wazoo, takes care of business, beats Oregon again by 4 points in the Pac-12 championship. Ohio State goes into Ann Arbor, loses by 1 point on a last-second field goal. You have a one-loss Washington Pac-12 champion. Michigan is in, Georgia's in, Florida State's in, and you have a one-loss Ohio State with the body of work that they have by 1 point at Michigan. Is there any scenario in that explanation that Washington gets snubbed in favor of Ohio State?
I don't think they get snubbed in favor of Ohio State. I would worry about Texas. If Texas wins out in that scenario, I think Texas probably gets the 4th spot.
That's a tough one. So is it Bama or Georgia winning the SEC?
We'll say Georgia wins out. Alabama.
If Georgia wins out, I think we're in over Texas. If Bama wins the SEC, I think Texas will be in with them. That's why the season's so fun, is you have so many of these teams so close together with a lot of tiebreaker scenarios that are really going to be interesting.
I think something you have to weigh with that, though, and this is just one of those weird quirks with the way the college football playoff committee even works, is early wins, or I should say early losses, don't hurt you as much as late losses. You'd think they should all count the same, but losing in week 12 versus when Texas lost to Oklahoma in week 7, 8, whenever that was, it probably won't weigh as much. Maybe they just have shorter memories. I don't know, but I truly think they'd probably put Texas in over Washington, even with
how they've treated us right now. Worries me.
Yeah.
It depends on the quality of the Oregon State loss, probably.
Well, either way, you're going to have to go take care of business against Oregon in the Pac-12 championship. That's what it's going to come down to, because Dub could beat Oregon State by 40, beat Wazoo by 60, and if they go in and lose to Oregon in the Pac-12 championship, Oregon is in, UW's out.
Yeah, exactly. We're getting a taste of a 12-team playoff, kind of, because Pac-12 title game, that's a playoff game. Michigan, Ohio State, that's a playoff game, and the SEC title is a playoff game. Too bad the ACC's absolute garbage.
Yeah. Unless, again, still Florida State's going to be playing for their lives. If they don't win out, I don't really see an avenue.
I guess the ACC title game will be a playoff game. Yeah.
Just for Florida State, though, not for Louisville, assuming they play Louisville.
Oh no, yeah. It's gonna be so fun to see it play out. I just hope we're not at our expense.
Yeah, right, exactly. Hopefully UW just wins out, makes it nice and easy. I'm still rooting for the scenario where my old boys with the Huskies play my new boys with the Wildcats somehow in the Pac-12 championship. It's a long shot, but it's not impossible.
We got to root for the Sun Devils this weekend.
Yeah, that's true. I trust me, I'm always rooting against Oregon, so that's not a problem. That's right. Forks up, baby.
Forks up. We were big fight on last week. We were doing
last week is fight on. This week is forks up.
Yeah, here we go.
And the week after that,
I'll buy an Arizona State jersey if they somehow knock off the Ducks this weekend.
Buy a Jaden
Oh,
Daniel. I'm just counting on Trent Bourget to turn into Jaden Daniels and Elijah Badger to turn into Brandon Ayuk just overnight.
Well, we just need Trenton Bourget to turn into 2022 week 6 or week 7 Trent
yeah.
Bourget.
Start right, exactly.
He carved us up so bad. He played so good against us.
Unfortunately, UW or Oregon's defense this year is much better than UW's defense was last year.
I trust in the voodoo magic of the desert.
That is true. There, especially late in the season, this is when voodoo magic definitely kicks in.
So
But
many title hopes have
Pac-12
gone
too,
down.
anything could happen.
Too bad
Anything
it's
could
not
happen.
a 7:30 game. It's a 1:30 game.
Yeah, man,
How
that
hot
would
is
be.
it out there still? How bad is it?
Well, right now it's 65.
Mm,
It'll obviously be. It was like a high of 86 earlier today, so it's not going to be like crazy hot or anything.
dang it.
I know. I
It's the
know.
heat works early season, not late.
The heat definitely works early in the season. This is right around like mid-November when Arizona starts becoming bearable to live in. So
Are we all picking the dogs? Are we picking the
we're all picking
dogs?
the dog. I'm
I'm
picking the
picking the
dogs.
dogs.
Even as Rob calls me, he calls me a hater.
He
I'm
was
picking the
hating on the
dogs.
student section in the fan base, this
I was
podcast.
hating on the fan base. I took back the fan base comment. I was hating on the student section though.
It's fair enough.
Um,
That's
and you had some justified hate for the defense. I just hope we get second half defense for the whole game.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that second half defense was obviously much better, the stat sheet, but how much of that is, you know, Barnes getting kind of a little rocked up on that
Hmm.
roughing the passer? How much of that is just Utah's offense turning back into the Utah offense from the first 10 weeks of the season? Um, we'll see. We'll see. It'll be interesting.
Uh, DJ has so much time to throw usually. I know our pass rush hasn't been as effective as we hoped to preseason, but Braylon Trice had his best game of the season last week against the Utes against a very good left tackle.
Mhm.
He's probably facing one of the best left tackles
Yeah,
in
Trice versus Fuaga is going to be a great NFL draft matchup, actually.
Trice had a good game against the Arizona. There's a lot of good tackles right now in the
Hmm.
pack, which is crazy. You got a great left tackle in Arizona. UW has a tandem of really good tackles.
Hmm.
Two NFL. Troy's going to be a guard in the NFL, but two NFL offensive linemen. Oregon has a good O line. Um, who else is a good tackle?
Other than Oregon State.
Oh, I forgot to mention him.
Yeah. Trying to think if there's any other big ones right
Utah's
now.
got a good O line.
Yeah, yeah, true. Fano's not going to be eligible for a few years though. Same with Connerly at Oregon.
Connerly's had a rough year.
Yeah, but he still came out as a big prospect. So
Yep.
I'm trying to think, and Oregon always feels like they've got a good O line
They
too.
make it easy for their O line with how quick they pass. But Braylon had a good game against Utah and against Arizona. He was
Arizona, yeah.
all I don't think he did too much against Oregon, but it's hard with how quick they get that out. You're
Hmm.
not touching Beau. I hope he has another good game against another good tackle. Show up for the NFL. He had a great game against the Utes. Thule's back up, a bit more healthy. He's been, getting in the backfield quick. If he can do that,
Hmm.
that's gonna be big. Um, Dogs cover for sure. I think anyone
Oh,
who's
I mean, yeah. No, I mean, dogs. I mean, if you're picking the dogs straight up, you're picking them to cover because unreasonably they're the underdogs in this game. So,
Utah or Oregon State has solid tight end group, has a pretty good tight end group.
mhm. They got my boy Jack Belling.
I
I'll
hope he
say a
comes
little
home.
UW story. I love Jack Belling
You
when
got
he
a
was
story?
coming out,
Tell us a
man.
story.
I just want to say I love Jack Belling when he was coming out. I was a big, actually, both him and Damian Martinez. Funny enough, I was pounding the table in the UW recruiting rooms for sure. Um, Never even ended up coming close to talking to Martinez and see how that's going. Um, we're really talking about bringing in Jack Belling, but ultimately it's funny. They did not want to go on a visit to UW unless there was an offer on the table, and we didn't want to offer them without meeting them in person. So it just he ended up staying and going to Oregon
Come
State, and
on,
he's having a
Jimmy.
good career there.
Was that Jimmy?
It was the Jimmy Lake staff, yes.
Who was responsible for that? Jimmy or Coach
It,
Cato?
no, it was Jimmy. Cato was basically trying to get approval on it.
I think there's a little bit of smoke about him transferring up north this offseason.
Gosh, he would be very, very welcome.
Him and
Very
Cuevas next
welcome.
year, that'd be pretty fun.
Bring him and Damian Martinez in.
Oh,
Bring
please.
my two favorite members of that Oregon State of the Oregon State team, honestly.
I hope we can, this sounds very mean, but for lack of better words, raid their roster. Um, there's some good players on there. And I've definitely pushed aside my hatred, my annoyance. But this week they've been annoying me more than usual on Twitter. But I don't want to hate them, but do want some of their good players.
And they got quite a few. They are not a roster barren of talent. A lot of those guys, like Flaga, is going to be going to the NFL next year. But
he's a top 20 pick.
Oh, easy.
It'll be interesting to. I know you can't say anything without Oregon State fans getting up in arms, but if Coach Smith gets caught up with any of the players leaving and goes to greener pastures.
You know where I think he's going to go that just isn't technically open yet. There's not even smoke anymore. There's fire. He's from Pasadena. I think he's going to be coaching the Bruins.
That'd be a fun one.
Chip is gone, right? Chip is.
Yeah. He's
not officially.
It's not official, but
dead man walking.
All the reports are saying, yeah. That would be fun, and he could come and be a pain in our ass.
I know, it's like, I thought we were getting rid of you. Hey, he would fit a Big Ten brand of football.
Yeah, no, he does it well. And shoot, man, then Damian Martinez just comes south too, and then it's like, oh
man. And I want to take some of their defensive staff too.
Mm-hmm. Bellin could come back though, since he's a Seattle guy.
So he went to Bellevue, right?
No, Seattle Prep.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining the show for a little bit, just for some Oregon and UW talk. Got any last words for us?
No, thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it. Sorry I couldn't stay for longer. I still have homework and school stuff to do, but I'll take the Huskies 37-30 Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
He's still a student, folks. Look how good of a student this guy is.
That's all good. Well, everyone, follow Ethan on Twitter if you want the best UW recording. It's at Ethan Arles, right?
At Ethan Arles, yeah. Appreciate it.
There we go.
Right.
Awesome.
Thanks,
see you, Ethan.
Thanks for coming, man. What a guy. The GOAT.
Man, we love him. We love him. But we gotta get him back too, especially for Wazoo week and Pac-12 championship week. We gotta try to get him back for sure.
Oh yeah. This is, I don't think we've played a complete game since the Cal game.
No, I don't think so either. I agree.
Or the Michigan State game.
Michigan State was a whole new level of compete. That was the best I think I've ever seen a Kalen DeBoer team play on both sides of the football.
Mm-hmm. I would say much of that I've seen, but both sides on football. Oh yeah, I think the best game, like execution and just players just balling out, probably Oregon last year. We had no business winning that game.
True, that's true. That's probably the most fun to watch, honestly.
That was eventually
that Michigan State game kind of got sad.
Yeah, it was bad. We totally took the foot off the gas too.
Yeah, we should have shut him out, man. That would have been fun. But oh well.
And then Tishon Lyons with that drop. Poor Demo.
Yeah.
Still throwing picks.
Yeah. Tough. But
Dogs roll, baby. 42. 32. 10 points, baby.
Let's say you say I roll, and then I was like 38. Or you said dogs roll 42-32.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, wait, I was like, this is gonna be a close game until the second half, and then I actually end up having the biggest spread. Crazy
there we
how
go.
That happens.
Yeah, I don't think they have the horses to keep up, especially if they have to play a long, grindy game.
Mm-hmm. If it turns into a passing game, which our offense will make sure it does, they're not going to be able to keep up. That takes Damian Martinez out of it. That takes their best offensive weapon out of it. All of a sudden, dogs are rolling. So,
and then DJ's going to throw a pick. That's the thing about guys with uber arm strength. I wouldn't count Penix on this. The guys that don't know how to throw touch. They throw a lot of flat throws. And Beau is a victim of this too. That's why he's not throwing a lot of intermediate. That's why they're throwing short or deep.
Mhm.
Is they're flat and it doesn't get over people. It doesn't have a little loft and it can lead to a lot of picks. So DJ has that same problem, but man, he's a specimen. Folks, you're gonna see when you watch this game how much of a specimen he is, just the body type. He could play defensive end like his brother, but he can throw the football. He's just got an insane body type. Big guy. Not fast. I want to say he's fast, but he's got legs.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. He can take off when he needs to.
He can run a QB power.
No, he can definitely run a QB power, man. He's got that build where it's just tough to bring him down. He's kind of got the he's not he obviously no one's Cam Newton, no one's Anthony
He's the
Richardson.
closest since Cam. Body's white. Because I wouldn't say it because Cam's a little porky. People don't. Cam wasn't shredded. AR and Cam were totally different because AR was ripped.
Wait,
Cam
you kidding me? Have you seen pictures of Cam?
shirtless
Oh yeah. You seen this?
in his prime. In his prime, look at that hair. That's post prime, baby. In his
That's
prime,
true.
and it's smart. It's
There you
smart
go.
to.
This is him with shorter hair.
It's smart, but a goatee though. That's Patriots.
Yeah, but this is him with shorter hair right here.
I will still say that I'll maintain this in his prime, in his early career, he was a bit heavier, and it's smart because with how many beatings he takes, he needs to protect his body. Um, Cam and AR are completely different body types, though. You have to give me that.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
DJ, especially just in how their torso and legs are proportioned, is a lot closer to Cam than to AR. I think he's the closest thing to Cam. Just those long legs that are kind of thick, but not shredded.
Agreed. Agreed.
But that's a good one to bring up, though. I like that comp. Poor man's Cam is a good one for DJ.
Cam.
I like that.
Poor Cam. Poor Cam. We're
Well,
gonna
there's
call
a
him Poor
reason
Cam from
why
now
they
on.
run Childs though, and it's because he's got that speed, you know. I kind of wish we don't really have anyone on the roster, but that would be and it's kind of foolish to do that when you have such a good quarterback, don't take him off for a drive. DJ does have limitations. He's not amazing. He's not a Heisman candidate. So, but maybe next year, maybe going forward, unless we get like a guy with some wheels, if we got an athlete, DeMarcius Davis is very athletic. I think Will Haskell, who we picked up in the transfer portal, very good athlete. Put him in for a drive, some QB runs, some zone reads. I wouldn't mind that.
There you go. We have already passed 2 hours here, so should probably start talking about these last games and then also give our Thursday night bet here.
It's been such a good week at NFL that we had to go. It's been such a good call. So much news. We had to. Sorry, folks.
No, you're good. Florida, Mizzou. Yeah, there you go. We haven't had a big stupid ups yet. Yeah, let's go back and find one after
we'll find one
the
later.
Rest of these game. Actually, I already see mine.
I see mine as well. I think we have the same one.
FIU, Arkansas. Yeah, Kentucky.
Ooh, Pig Suey.
Nebraska, Wisconsin. Iowa State's beating Texas.
Same.
There we go.
Ames, baby. We're not going to have to deal with that nightmare scenario.
Yep.
Because now they're officially out of it. 2 loss won't win.
Yeah.
This is week 12. Jesus.
Then LSU, Georgia State.
Does Iowa State have a thing they do? I don't know. I don't think they have a thing they say or thing they do.
I have no idea. Go Cyclones, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. That's a good one.
LSU, Georgia State, Syracuse, Georgia Tech, New Mexico, Fresno State, San Diego State, San Jose. Not much to talk about this late slate. So,
New Mexico, Fresno State. How's New Mexico doing? I confuse them with state sometimes. The Lobos are the bad one. Yeah. Shout out Aaron Dumas.
Yeah. There you go. How's New Mexico? Wait, I know you said they were doing good earlier. 8-3. Shoot, man. Second in the Conference USA.
Yeah. They're bowl eligible for last year. They were bowl eligible for like the first time in like 50 years. Now they're bowl eligible again.
Man,
That might
comfortably
have been a
too.
couple years
8-3.
ago. That might have been a couple years ago.
Still, man, now comfortably bowl eligible at 8-3.
Hmm.
So there you go. Building quite the program there.
Yeah, they're doing good.
So there you go. I mean, that's college football week 12. Obviously, we'll be back to talk how it went next Tuesday. But any thoughts on this before on the slate as a whole? Want to put together your slate before we talk Thursday
Ooh,
night?
let's do it. So we're gonna go watch Friday. Friday's a watch.
Okay. Oh yeah,
Um,
Florida, Colorado, Michigan, or Colorado, Wazoo, probably.
that's a watch for sure. Let's look at the morning games. Ooh, Chattanooga, Alabama. That'll be fun. Shout out Cole Strange. Um, this might be a little bit of a sleeping.
Yeah. Maybe Louisville, Miami.
Yeah, I could see that one being one to watch, but this is looking like a little sleeping. Maybe Coastal Army, but that's severe sicko.
Yeah. So moving forward to Texas, or Texas, 12 p.m.
Utah, Arizona, that's a good one.
Utah, Arizona. If you got Pac-12, I'd probably be flipping between Utah, Arizona, and SC,
Oh
UCLA
yeah. Oh yeah.
in the
That's a good one.
afternoon.
Pac-12's killing it this weekend, man.
Yep. Late afternoon, early evening. Obviously, Wazoo, Oregon State will be the headliner there.
Kansas State,
Anything else?
Kansas.
Yeah, that
Um,
one. Mm-hmm.
I think there was another one too. Scroll up a little bit. I thought there was another one. Oh wait, no. UNLV Air Force. That's another good one too.
Oh yeah, you can be flipping on between three different games in the early afternoon. Late afternoon, Wazoo, Oregon State, and probably
Everyone's gonna be
Kansas
watching
State,
that game.
Kansas.
You said
Yeah.
Wazoo.
Or yeah, UW, Oregon State, obviously. The exact opposite of what I said. Kansas State, Kansas.
Not a great
And you can
slate.
also get Texas. I mean, Texas, Iowa State starts half an hour after the UW game does. So
Well, I'm not gonna be flipping in that window.
yeah. Yeah. Oh, and but important to note, all these games are starting an hour for you late or
Oh yeah,
earlier than it does for
yeah.
me because this is all mountain time.
That's right. That darn time change.
Yep. Yep. And then yeah, it's not much going on at night, honestly. You get a little bit of an early turn in, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. Looks like it. Maybe some ACC after dark at 6.
Yeah. Even then, it's only 5. Yeah, I mean, there's only two 7:30 games for you, and it's two very
And
mediocre
not fun.
games.
Fresno State just to watch a Tedford offense.
That's fair. That's fair.
If I had to choose one of the two, because Brady Hoke is retiring at SDSU.
There you go.
Supposedly they're looking at Harson, and Kirby Moore might be going to Boise.
Oh gosh, that would go great. Um,
Kirby Moore might be at Boise.
that'd be a fun one. That'd be a fun one for
Keep it in the family.
keeping the family. Exactly. Well, we got a Thursday night football game here to talk about. When my Cincinnati Bengals go to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. Ravens favored by 3.5. Both these teams coming off pretty heartbreaking losses, honestly.
Yeah.
Tough, hard fought home losses.
We'll get into that one later.
Yeah, I don't even want to talk about it, but I got 2 days to simmer. Of course, at that point, I'll have another game to be worried about too. So,
Oh yeah, true. We're gonna be coming in live post that game.
do I go into Thursday night off of 2 straight losses? Yeah, I think I do. I think the Ravens win, and I think they cover.
I don't know. It's a divisional game.
Yeah. I mean, they played in Cincinnati earlier this year, and the Ravens won by 3. So.
Ravens looked like
Now, granted, that was Joe Burrow with one leg. So
Ravens looked like world beaters against the NFC.
And the Bengals are not in the NFC. I'm sticking to it though.
Give me the Bengals with the points.
Gosh, man, this will be the one I really hope I hope I miss on then. But go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, you got it.
Oh, I was gonna say, as just a reminder for everyone, we actually ended up washing. We both went 2-2 on the week. Wash, so I'm still +3 right now.
What's this gonna be? Week 11?
This 12? Is week 11 for the NFL, yeah.
Already got a difference already. How fun.
All right, there you go. Well, I really hope next time we speak, I am -2 or +2, I mean.
Me too. I don't know. I think I don't think they'll be broken after that loss. That was, just tough fought everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's going to break them.
I think you could make the argument that Baltimore blowing a big lead to Cleveland
Way
is more
worse
disheartening. Yeah.
than losing
So,
to the rookie of the year on a
yeah.
crazy finish.
Yeah. Freaking Tyler. If we end up missing the playoffs because of the most sure-handed receiver on our offense dropping just the easiest slant route ever, I'm gonna be really
That was
pissed.
rough.
How does
You're
he
not
drop
missing the
that?
playoffs. Don't worry about that.
We'll see. But
AFC is tough though.
AFC is really tough. That's what concerns me. But yeah, there you go. That's it for the West Coast Draft Podcast. We'll be back as always, Mr. Daniel Lisenby for our NFL episode Thursday. But any closing thoughts, Mr. Jokinen?
Dogs roll. We're gonna flush the Beavs down in that toilet of Research Stadium one last time on the way out and eliminate them from the Pac-12 title game. How sweet will that be? Digital Dam, suck my dick.
There you go. Well, if one of us follows Ethan Kilbreath on Twitter, we all follow
Ah.
Ethan Kilbreath on Twitter. One of us hits like, we all hit like. If one of us hit subscribe, we all hit subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye.